That was the right one. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beserkr.
Bonjour. No wait.
I got
Cue
to.
me punching my mic, right?
Oh yeah, you didn't do it this time. It pissed you off less this time, to be fair. I wasn't sure which of the scenes was the overlay scene, so I got worried for a second. Yes, so we have more Beserkr today. Episode number 3, and things have gotten a little interesting. But we'll get into that momentarily.
Things have gotten a little interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, a little interesting, just a bit.
We found a gift shop. No, wait, that wasn't it. The Raider gift shop. Buy before you die.
Yeah, and now is the time for us all to turn our dice rolls around. Except for maybe me. I probably shouldn't turn my dice rolls around.
Last week it was me, man. I couldn't roll a pass to save my life.
Yeah.
But
Bad.
I did the average, right? We got like to 49.5 or something average, or 50.
Yeah, we were
like,
right
it
on
was
the- we were right on the money.
super close
Yeah.
to.
But it was also
Yeah, but-
it was also just a series of critical successes.
Yeah,
and
it was a
critical
series of
failures.
extremes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
It all evened
And I
out in
was
the end.
all the critical failures were my part. So
So welcome everyone to the Wandering Inn. We are doing another episode of Beserkr, and technically speaking, I was supposed to have a patron created intro. However, I got sent the draft, and I said, "Could you please rewrite this because it makes it sound like I kidnap and torture people." It was.
I don't want to give people false hope. Is that what you're thinking?
It was very funny talking about me as a GM and like forcing people to face emotions and cry and the references to torture, but it really did just sound like I was kidnapping people and torturing, and I'm like,
or
I'm not.
you could also have been a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So-
well done. Thanks for giving him an intro. We'll get there. We'll get there. Just
Yeah.
smooth out the edges.
Like-
We got this. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get there when Sheepy is less picky about the intro.
Hey, I read out an intro which ripped into me for like 5 minutes. It was just me reading out all of my flaws. Although there was a couple of nice things as well.
I mean, we could just rip you right now for being Florida man, Sheepy. I mean, you're pulling the look off today.
Yeah.
So.
I want to ask that. Is that what is that? Palm Beach? What is that shirt?
I think it says Palm.
It's Palm Beach. Yep.
Is it actually a Florida shirt?
It
South Florida.
Yeah. Have you been to Florida? Are you secretly
surfers-
Florida man?
Surface Paradise, Palm Beach. Eats Dean, Volva.
East Ocean Avenue.
And then at the bottom it says I maim.
I don't think that's what it said. I think it says
thought we were
Miami.
I thought we were
Miami?
supposed to get
It's
off the whole
Miami.
torture thing.
Is it possibly my?
Personally, I prefer I maim, but whatever.
Oh my god.
Yes, this is. I didn't know that that's what this T-shirt said. I am one of the worst people for clothes. The only time I ever get new clothes is Christmas, when my family members buy me clothes, and I never really look at them too much.
So welcome in everybody to Beserkr, where the
Yes.
three of us are insane Viking raiders, and we've made it to the English coast, and our DM is just literally Florida man.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's such a Florida man. He doesn't realize he's wearing a Miami Beach, Florida.
Yeah,
Florida.
I think it is like this. I think he wanted us to invade a different East Coast, more on the next hemisphere over. And sorry, we couldn't make it before tea time.
I would say if you go to Florida, to any of the cities, and then step out of the city, where that point in Florida where you immediately hit swampland, like 2 seconds away from civilization.
Yep.
If you walk for about a minute or two, the first person you meet will look exactly like me.
Just the accent will be a slight bit
Yeah,
different.
accent will be
different
different.
accent, but yeah, that's really funny. I've literally been on one of the fan boats in the Everglades, and you're not wrong.
That you didn't know. That was actually me driving the fan boat
Oh
for
my
you.
god!
Yeah.
The full circle.
Oh god. But yes. Anyway, there was a patron written intro. I had to. It's first time. So you know you've done well if you have to make me force me to ask you to rewrite it. So we'll see how that goes. Possibly next week if we're lucky. Past that, I am going to do a Patreon post about it, but the campaign, the Patreon campaign, has just started. We've done the character creation. Quite a few of the patrons jumped in. We made some characters, and so next month is going to be the first official session for patrons. We're going to be playing Seventh Seas. With pirates and all that type of thing. Essentially, the vague idea is creating a Tortuga-style island from scratch, like a pirate haven. So it
Fuck yeah.
should be a fun time. And not all of the characters are obvious murder hobos, so you know, that's always good.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Give it time.
So, for those of you who are patrons and who are interested, essentially, the $50 tier and above gets you automatic entry into the patron game, and anyone who's been a patron for a decent amount of time, essentially, you have loyalty points there. You can cash them in, not like actually cash them in, but just be like, hey, I've been a $10 patron for a year. I'm like, yeah, you can come in and play some games as well. You know, it's I don't want to have a hard cutoff because I feel like people who've been patrons for a long time should be able to be like, hey, I've been a patron for a long time. Could I get in on the game? It's like, yeah, hell yeah, come on in. So if you are a patron of a lower tier than $50, the $50 tier, just hit me a DM or hit me up in the Discord, and we can talk about making a character, getting you in for a few games, etc., etc. See how it goes. So, but yeah, I'll make a Patreon post about that too. Past that, I am considering doing a chronological long movie cut for Duakrama Outlook. Duakrama Outlook, for those of you who don't know, is the Alien RPG I did with Josh, like co-GM'd. The way the main story runs is a past and a present, and it is alternate past-present episodes going through. What I'm thinking about doing is releasing 2 movie style videos, which will probably be like 6 to 8 hours long, and just, yeah, I know. And just having the chronological events of each past and present for a different viewing experience. So instead of watching it alternative past and present episodes, it'll be all past and then all present, which I think could be a fun thing to do. So
Sheepy is now the Zack Snyder of TTRPGs.
well, no, because I don't make absolute bullshit.
I knew that was coming.
That was the obvious jab.
Yeah.
And B, the chronological viewing is not my vision. It's just another way I think would be interesting to watch it. My vision was the alternative, the one that's already up. So it's not like a sheepy cut. It's like a extra cut if you want to look at it like that. So there you go. Past that, there is the Twitter, the Discord, and Twitter, Discord, and other places, possibly, where you can get notified once we go live with the show. Especially going to be useful once the recorded shows start turning up as well. Also, we are getting closer and closer to that Patreon goal for 2 shows a week. The second show will be...
Get in there.
Yeah. The second show will be recorded, so we'll be having 1 live show a week and 1 recorded show a week. I'm already organizing a few recorded shows just so we have a few in pocket. So, you know, just in case we hit that goal and I can start releasing them. But just needless to say, there are some guest GMs. I've got some cool shows, and yeah, I have a few extra ideas. Me and Goobers actually talked about one of my ideas a little bit. It was you know,
We talked about many things.
yeah,
That's why I'm making that face.
we talked about quite a lot of things. But past that, yes, go check out the patron. Pledge as little or as much as you feel like you want. Essentially, the more people we have there, the more people who pledge, the more I'm able to do. So if you enjoy what you see now, but you want more, consider the Patreon.
Don't beggar yourself on account of the Patreon.
Absolutely
Get
not.
just up to the line though, and then stop.
Come join me in my hobo hut in Florida.
Can't be a murder hobo if you've got a house.
Join him in his hobo hut in Florida in I'm Florida.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Florida. I'm gonna have to make a show that's set in I'm Florida now.
It sounds like a Tales from the Loop scenario.
It could be a show about adventuring hobos who are all really high in basalt, so they think they're actually seeing. It's like kind of like a dragon, like where he sees everyone as
It's an
Dragon
awful
Quest
idea.
characters.
Yeah.
But it's like seeing everything as like crazy people, and you're fighting windmills and shit. But it's because your hobos on basalts.
It's
So Florida man Don Quixote, love it, love it.
No, it's a Florida man isekai, where they get four Florida men or 4 Florida people get transported to an alternate fantasy world where they are the heroes, but they're just Florida men.
No, they don't even need to be transported. They think they're transported, but they're really on basalts. I'm telling you.
This is not what we're doing today.
Yes,
guys, this
this is
was
not
not
what
what we're
this is,
supposed to do today. Wrong
my
hemisphere,
God.
goddammit. Wrong hemisphere.
So, past that, if you would like to throw out some support, you don't want to do the monthly thing, totally understandable. There is the super chat on the live stream on the YouTube. You can throw down a super chat, ask a question, make a statement. It will be read out at the end with thanks. And if you have a question like, "Hey Goobers, why do all your characters charge needlessly into death?" And Goobers will answer that question. Don't
I'm
give
not
it away
answering
now.
that
Yeah,
until
yeah, yeah.
somebody drops a question.
Yeah,
all right.
hell yeah. And aside from that, as well, there is also plans to make essentially something along the lines of like a PayPal coffee or Ko-fi or something like that. You know, just somewhere where you don't have to. Some people have been asking me for it because they don't want to give money to Google or they don't want to, you know, etc. I understand that. Whenever I go on Twitch, I'm like, ugh, giving Twitch my money, ugh, gag.
Ko-fi is the best.
Yeah.
Because it takes $4.50 a month and doesn't take part of your transactions, which is vastly superior.
Don't forget that I also should not forget to mute my Discord because I just got a couple of beeps. It's all good. I've muted it now, so it won't beep at me. And there was one more thing. Oh yes, and I am slowly, but now that my free time, I've been having a slight diatribe. I've been having to travel back and forward a reasonable amount to my folks. In the past. Now I'm not having to do that as much because I don't have. Basically, I had to bring in the coal and the logs and stuff like every other day to keep them warm. So I don't have to do that anymore as much because it's getting warm as is. So I have I'm a bit less like overwhelmed by travel and things like that. So I'm working more on the merch, which means hopefully by the next show you should see some merch. I don't want to commit to that because I'll just let everyone down, but there is that. And the next show, just because I love the people in that show more than in this show, the next show may even have like a trailer and etc. So you know, once that's ready, you might be able to see that.
Damn.
I think I've told the patron. I tend to tell the patrons early, just like random facts about the next shows and stuff. But the next show is called Overgrown, So take from that what you will.
Gardening simulator.
Yes. So with...
Or the inverse of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. They're overgrown.
Oh, there's a film. Yeah, Honey, I Blew Up the Kids.
Yeah.
Which is blew up as in made bigger and not just
Yeah.
exploded.
Yeah.
Which
I'm just so glad you didn't go to Honey, We Blew the Kids.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, I was thinking it, but I wasn't gonna say anything, and I knew that you would come in and do that. So,
I mean, that's what I'm here for, LCT.
no, that's
See,
not
but
what
you know
you're
what you
here
need? You know what you really need? When this
Jesus?
channel takes off and when you get, patrons like crazy and you're able to fund like 7
wait for
shows a
Jesus.
week, you need to hire somebody on who's just called the Wrangler. And they come in here when everybody starts taking left turns before getting into the goddamn show and just goes, back on track, idiots!
Well,
And then he just fades back into the background.
I'll hire like 4 or 5 assistants who I'll fly out every week to the homes of my cast members, and they'll just be sent out with a ruler. And every time someone goes off track, they'll just get smacked with a ruler.
They just sit in the background and wait.
Or if AI gets better, then I can just have a command, and you have to set it up yourself.
Absolutely. There's just a machine with a ruler just...
Now you're just like giving me things I pay for usually, Sheepy, for free. So I mean, I'm good with that.
Hey. Well, we can talk contract negotiations later. But yes. So, shall we talk about what happened last episode of Beserkr?
Hell yeah.
Last episode, we raided the town. After defeating the soldiers, and I think didn't Leaf randomly throw a knife and accidentally hit a dude cowering in a bush? Like that happened, right?
Yes, that really
indeed
happened.
did happen. Yep.
That was so fucking funny.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
okay. I'm glad I remembered that. But yes, with those, kind of pathetic soldiers defeated, the town wasn't really well defended for when the Vikings under, I want to say Jarl Gudbrand, that's his name. Under Jarl Gudbrand, they were pretty much no match for them. They knocked open the doors, they charged in, they killed the few remaining soldiers, or just anyone with weapons, and either killed or took captive the rest of the villagers. While going through the village, the settlement, they found more valuables than they were expecting. Plates, goblets, candlesticks, etc., all kind of like silver and gold, and some gems encrusted in it. They heard about a mine from the headman, and they heard about a church. They decided, because it was a bit closer, to head to the church. The Jarl took a small group of their warriors up to the church, as they weren't really expecting any trouble from priests. And when they entered the church, they found, it looked all churchy and, standard stuff. But there was a circle of dead bodies on a weird symbol, with one priest left who, I believe, had a robe on and
Deer antlers. Yeah.
deer antler helmet, like kind
Yeah.
of. The Jarl took him and stabbed him, and as he died, I believe he said in his language, which needed to be translated by... Who was the translator? I think it was Vigdis was the translator.
Yep.
The lady.
Yes,
Yeah, the
Victus,
lady.
yeah.
Vigdis.
Well, yeah, one of the
Big Deuce Note? No.
Off the stage.
I maimed these notes. So... Anyway.
Sorry.
That's my
Slight
fault.
detour.
That's my fault. That tickled me more than it should. Vigdis translated what he said in his dying breath, which was death. I think he said it was something. Oh God, I don't have it down here because I didn't. But I'm pretty sure it was death death begins it, or death is only the beginning, something along those lines.
Death is
only
the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, death is the beginning. He didn't say only. Yeah, I remember that.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
And that is where we ended. Did I do a fadeaway with bone rattling again, or did I not do?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did,
Okay.
indeed.
You just heard the sounds, bones like rattling.
Golden bones.
Love it.
So, even though that is heavily not something to worry about even slightly, we will stop this very exciting music and go firstly to something a bit less exciting. Seeing as we're in the church, you are all in the church. The priest has been stabbed, has said his last words, which were translated and been dropped onto the symbol. Blood starts to pool around him, and not much else happens. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'll speak for the other Vikings with you and the Jarl. They don't put any import on his words, and they don't really put much import in this scene. Like, I think maybe one of them, like, walks over and kind of, like, stares down at the bodies. Maybe even kicks one of them and they don't move. And then looks up, sees something shiny, like, moves over to it. There's, like, a kind of, ha-ha! And then starts, like, grabbing and throwing in a sack, like, these golden
The only
goblets
person who I can imagine who puts any heed to his words would be Leif after his little encounter in the forest.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
he's already wound up, shall we say?
Yeah, I'm a little paranoid after seeing shit in the woods.
Yeah. So.
I'd also say that Sven is also just like, he's so fucking tired. He doesn't know what to think.
Yeah. And he's a little bit strung out. He's had his own, like, weirdness on the ship. But I don't know, like, with battle and everything, I don't know how much that would have kind of washed off him at this point. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's just fatigued now. He's just exhausted.
Man could not sleep on the bus ride over.
Nope.
That would be the worst, the raid replacement bus service.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but there seems to be a hole in the boat, so we're going to have to take this bus down through Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, France, across the channel in the skip.
God.
Yeah. If you look if you look out the left side of the bus, you will see a beautiful scenic scene of people strung up in macabre, eldritch ways. So before I say a thing, is there anything specific that anyone wants to do? And that does include, like, going and grabbing loot and anything to do with the priests and etc. I'm just wondering whether you have a specific kind of thing you want to do, as opposed to the generic kind of run around and grab shit.
Sven would have looked. Sven, if there were any, like, weapons or anything like that in the village and or here, I'm thinking like daggers or anything like that. He would have been very keen to grab one, if anything, for a memento, but also, like, sometimes they know how to make a really good weapon, so I'll take an extra dagger.
Yeah.
So, if he finds one.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think Leaf would be, like, kind of checking out the weird shit, like the not crosses and all the kind of awkward stuff, because he's already creeped out, and so this shit's creeping him out even more. So he's just, like, running on with a dagger in his arm and just kind of, like, poking shit and be like, what is like just making sure it's real, making sure it's not just like in his imagination and all that shit. So
Okay. Yeah, I would say if there's anything you the priests and the church won't have any weapons. But aside from that, like,
were they killing themselves? I mean, or killing each other?
Yeah. Oh, and I was also going to say, like, for a second, my brain was like, yeah, this is a Christian church. Like, they wouldn't have weapons. And I was like, wait a second, you know that's not true. Don't lie to everyone.
Not.
So yeah, there would be like, probably. Does anyone know what a kris is? It's kind of like a small wavy like blade.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
It almost kind of looks like a snake, like going back and forth.
It's like a flambear sword, but tiny.
Like little mini flambers.
That's kind of the look of them. They look a bit ornate, a bit ceremonial. Like they are inlaid with gold and silver and gemstones as well, so they look quite fancy. And the blades, the blades themselves are serviceable, but not good. So.
All right. Well, he still would have taken it. He absolutely still would have taken it and looked at it and been like, "Meh." But all right, fine, and kind of tied it onto his waist or something, and just, you know, it's you know, if it's a good blade, he'll use it. If it's a shitty blade, it's a memento, or maybe he could sell it for something. I don't know.
I mean, at worst, you can melt it down into ingots or like take the gemstones off, etc. So there's no reason not to take them.
Yeah.
Melt them down into gem ingots.
Gem ingots.
Yeah. So there, in that case, I will require a roll from everyone as we keep going.
Oh no!
I will need. I will need a spot hidden. And I'm just seeing if there's anything else that would work for this.
Mine's set at 45. That must be, if it's set at like 45, then that means we adjusted it, right?
It will have been.
Yeah, mine's at 45 as well.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you will.
That is my number.
I was 25.
Come on!
Oh!
40! Oh my god, that's even worse! I'm
100?
So
that was like a 1. That was like the worst roll possible.
Oh my god!
That's
I got
as
a
like
failure. Let's go.
as a note, that is the first time we've had it where it says fumble.
Yeah. You got something in your eye. You can't see shit.
Oh my god.
And I've missed it by 1 fucking point.
Okay.
Holy shit.
6.
So that's going to change how things play out, but never mind. As everyone else is looking around, like seeing what they can find, Sven, you grab the dagger, like inspect it, and kind of put it away just for maybe you can try it out later if you get the opportunity, or maybe you can just hold it to sell it or whatever. It'll probably go into the big pile of loot that'll get shared out later. You stand up and step forwards, and you like step awkwardly your first step on the skull of the priest that had been killed and fallen over. It just kind of like stumbles your foot enough that your foot kind of like slides down onto the floor, which of course now has pooling blood around it, which of course causes your foot to slip and propels you forward, like kind of very quickly, like head first into this kind of like pedestal that almost looks like a kind of altar, like somewhere where someone would stand behind with a book and speak.
Okay.
Your head goes straight through the paneling. And you find yourself with your shoulders like up against the remains of the altar, the pedestal, like looking directly down at the floor with like bits of wood in your hair and etc. And you see a little iron ring, which is on the floor, kind of surrounded by like a kind of like metal riveted paneling. You essentially, it is a trapdoor hidden under the altar.
What the fuck? I'm just
Leaf's
like,
gonna
my
be
head is like, ah, what?
Anyone have-
And you just see my hand kind of go,
Yeah.
wait.
Anyone have 8 tomatoes to throw? We need to throw some tomatoes.
I did this on purpose. Look what I found.
Wait, there's a door under here. What the hell? Get me out! Someone pull! I'm just like,
Leaf's gonna come up and like grab him by the like pants and try to pull him out.
By the scruff of his neck.
Yeah.
Fuck! Yanks me out. I got fucking splinters on my neck and
Yeah,
shit.
there's like a little bit of dust, like sawdust, etc.
And I just stand up and I go, all right, let's forget that how I got there. But there's a door underneath that. Harald, can you take care of that altar? There's a door under there.
Good job using your head there, Sven. I appreciate it.
Don't know what you want me to do.
It's wood. You've got a giant axe. You're the best one for this. Just knock it over. Get out of there.
I'd love. Okay, I whistle. I whistle, and Eskil comes in. Like, hey,
Or Eskil, that's fine.
can you smash that up?
Eskil walks in from outside and kind of clumps over to this like fairly large altar thing, and just like with his hand just smacks it, and it goes flying over and hits the wall and like shatters a little bit. Reaches down, grabs onto this like a big heavy metal like solid ring, and just slowly pulls it up. You hear it creaking, and you hear a little bit of like wood snapping, and then he kind of like pulls up the hatch. There's a lock on it, and like a little bit of wood that has been like torn off the floorboards.
Of course, the most secure lock there is: glue. Love that idea. He just ripped the whole thing off.
And then when he opens that up and he's holding it, I want to look at the church people that are still alive. What's their reaction? What are they doing?
Oh, they're all dead.
Oh, we killed all of them. Oh, I thought there were some that were alive. Okay,
No,
never mind.
all of the ones that were there, aside from the one with the antlers, deer antler skull, were dead already, and the blood was like slowly congealing.
Oh, okay.
There was one guy left. He was like kneeling there. He got dragged up and then stabbed and bled out.
Oh, great. No, that's just love to hear it. Love to hear it.
The Jarl says, like he's kind of like going through stuff, and he says, Sven,
Jarl?
the gods clearly wanted you to find this. You should head down first. Let us know what you see down there.
Of course.
A couple of you go with him.
And I'm just like picking chunks of wood out of my fucking
I'll
scalp.
go with him.
I'll go, but I'm not going first. I'm not going last. So
So-
I'm going right down.
Going down is a fairly basic ladder. It's quite dark down there as well. You can see like maybe a few like barrels or and like struts and stuff, but it appears to be like an underground cellar type place.
Didn't I bring torches?
Yes.
Wasn't that something that I said that I brought onto? Like I specifically said that we
I
pulled
think
from the
so.
boat. I brought torches.
Yeah.
So whenever we get to where my, at the end of the ladder, I'm immediately going to light, like okay, it's torch time. Light up a torch.
When you climb down or before you climb down?
Once I reach the bottom of the ladder.
Okay. In that case, before you reach the bottom of the ladder, as you start to climb down, your foot slips on blood that is on the rungs that has gone underneath the thing, and you proceed down the ladder with your chin bouncing off every single rung until you hit the bottom. I'm sorry, but you fumbled that. You must pay.
Sven has turned into like a Looney Tunes character.
Yeah.
You guys ever seen the video of the Bloodborne character with the hat sliding down the ladder and his head goes every time? It's literally just, oh, fuck! You just hear like a whoop, boom. Oh.
You okay down there, Sven?
I fell. I'm
I
alive.
I noticed you fell.
Do I have any, he checks, is there any broken ribs?
No.
Okay.
The only thing that was bruised was your ego.
Okay,
Or
good.
pride.
But that is shattered.
Yeah, absolutely decimated. Just there's
just-
so much blood around here. It's like oil. Watch your footing. And then I stand up once I catch my breath and light the torch.
Leaf is going to get on the ladder and be extra careful as he makes down because he knows what just happened to Sven.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the rest of you heading down the stairs take pains to avoid the blood rung, which is just coated with blood and slippy.
The blood rung. What a great metal band.
Out here in Miami, Florida. We got blood rungs for days, y'all.
Gotta watch out for them blood runs.
Oh,
I
yeah,
tell
yeah,
you, one
yeah,
that come up and
yeah,
get you
yeah.
like you never experienced nothing.
Everywhere you go, you see blood rungs.
I lost 32 of my 35 teeth, I tell you. Oh God. All right, well. Yeah, so I light up the torch and yeah. Keep look around, or I guess I should say I wait once I have the torch open or
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
but I just wait for everybody to get down there.
And don't worry, like that's the end of your fumble. There, you will not receive. You won't set yourself
listen,
on
I wouldn't be
fire
upset
or.
if it wasn't because I literally rolled a 100
Yeah.
out of 100.
I mean, in my head, I was thinking the next two options I have is you either set yourself on fire or this place is filled with methane. Either way. But no, you're good.
God.
As you kind of spread out down among the call it like a cellar almost, you have a kind of mostly wooden kind of struts and structure around, and there is a couple of cells, like dungeon cells, to the left and the side, which have dried, congealed blood on the floor of them, and chains in the middle of the cells.
Does it just smell like death? Like death and like...
Weirdly, no. It just smells musty and a little bit dank. There is also a past these cells, kind of on the left, there is a short corridor with a couple of rooms. There's a kind of going down the corridor, there is a door on the left, and there is a door at the end.
This place seems way more complicated than it looks like from the outside. The outside, it just looked like a normal stone church. What the fuck were they doing down here?
Oh, apologies. Included in the room, there is to the side a kind of like short shelf, very wooden and kind of knocked together, not like fancy or ornate looking or anything, with some books and etc. There's a couple that look fairly fancy, as best as you can tell. Like, you know, they stand out because they've got very fancy kind of like golden like etceteras. And then a few which are just a bit more blah.
Well, if it's got gold, Sven is not even thinking about it. He's walking right up to that shit. I'm gonna take a look at it.
Okay. Yeah, you cannot read the
No.
I mean, you could just stop there. You,
Yeah.
you cannot read.
Stop there.
I was gonna say.
You cannot read.
So the well thought out intricacies of this book are completely lost on you. It looks like someone has painted a whole load of spiders all over the pages.
The term we walk, the term we use here is a crow has walked on them because it looks like crow's feet.
Yes.
So to be culturally accurate, it looks like crows have walked all over the pages.
Okay, all right.
How dare you insult my possible?
Yeah, no,
ancestors.
sorry about that. I'm just saying it's an English document which tracks with your side of the water, Shibi, but he would be Scandinavian, so he would think it doesn't matter. Sorry.
Yeah.
Tangent.
Just looks at all the gold and stuff on there, and he kind of starts picking at it, and then he looks at the Jarl. Or did the Jarl come down here?
The Jarl did not come down there. It is you and probably a couple of other Vikings, along with Leaf. Wait, did Leaf and Harold come? Yeah,
we're
Leaf
both
and
there.
Harold down as well.
Yeah.
I imagine Eskil didn't come down just purely because
he wouldn't be able to fit.
He wouldn't be able to fit. But Vigdis did come down as well.
And
Okay.
is Aki here? Our favorite backstab?
Aki did come on the trip
God.
to the church, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I figured
yeah.
we could probably get Vigdis down here if we're like, hey, documents down here. We can't read any of this shit.
So I'd say probably Vigdis is down there. Aki's probably, you probably hear like, oh, cool. You know, not cool, but you probably hear like, oh, wow, look at this. It's like, up from upstairs. He's like finding interesting.
Mm-hmm. And I just kind of show everybody, and I'm just like, look, they've got more presents for us. Grab a bag. We're gonna need a lot.
Question. You look at the book. Do you look through the book, or do you just look at the like?
Oh, I thought you were saying that. Yeah, that I did. Yeah, I
okay.
100% just like I'm. Like I don't think it's far-fetched idea to say that I've seen it mess with a book before. Okay. So I literally just kind of like just open it up and just like I don't know what I'm fucking looking at. I just kind of,
All right,
that's a book.
Yep.
In that case, about the majority of the book, as you flip through it, it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is a part in the book that makes you stop. Because it is not writing, it is an illustration. It is a not a painting, but a drawing, essentially.
Okay.
It is a drawing of the woods with all of the trees are bare of leaves and completely, I don't want to say dead, but that's the vibe they give to you. They seem
desiccated.
Yeah, desiccated. Like there's no leaves. They're all bare. It appears to be night with a moon up in the top, kind of illuminating the forest. And in the middle of the painting, the thing that really catches your eyes is a long, slender figure, mostly shadowed by the moonlight. But you can see very, very long limbs. The arms almost reach the floor. The fingers appear to be like 3 or 4 times the length of normal fingers, like really long and spindly. There is a kind of like pale bone. Actually, you've kind of seen it recently. Almost like a stag skull over the figure's top of their head.
Okay.
Inside one of the eyes is this small, like, emerald gleam. The antlers appear to have draped intestines over them and are dripping blood. Like thick gore, basically.
Why does this stop me?
Because
what about this?
Because it's the only image you see, and it's really fucking weird for an image.
And you said that I had seen this before, or something about this
You'd
before?
seen the skull before.
Where did I see the skull before?
That's the same stags the priests were wearing, right?
Similar
Stagheads.
to
Oh.
what the priest was wearing. There is also a small scribble underneath it, but you can't read.
You said Vigdis was down here, right?
Yes.
I look at this, I kind of pause and Vigdis,
Hmm?
can you read this? What does this say? No, I have that and I hold the torch up.
Oh, what is that? Is that a...
I don't know.
Is that a stag?
Well, it looks similar to what they were wearing upstairs, but I have no idea. It just caught my eye. It says this down here. What does that say?
Okay, it says, the first word there is maybe servant, or, possibly, like, inhabitant. And the second word, I don't get it. Is like servant of, and then I think it is Velez or Volos, something like that. But I don't know what that word is.
Servant of... Okay. I don't know. This is all beyond me. I'm just here for... And he kind of slaps it closed in one hand and he goes, this. And he kind of shines the gold. He goes, this is what we're here for. Grab what you can. Let's get out of here.
Leaf is gonna like kind of wander a little bit. Is gonna look around and look down these hallways. Not go down the hallways, but just kind of see and be like, what were they doing down here? Seems like because he's looking into cells and everything like that, and like looks like people were dying down here also. And I don't know what the fuck is going on.
That's fair.
Harald already has a bag with stuff in it, and he's shouting up the ladder for Eskil to catch the bag, so he doesn't have to climb with it.
Okay. Yeah, I do.
And Eskil's like holding his hand down, and he's like,
Yeah, just grabs it and pulls
yeah,
it up.
and then it's like, okay, that's everything. Let's get out. Let's get out of here.
I mean, there's plenty of room to go. I mean, we got these hallways, these rooms to check out. There could be more things to loot.
Yeah. Can everyone roll me spot hidden again? Sorry. I could go off your previous, but seeing as everyone failed, I figure you may want to give it another run.
Oh my god.
9 fucking hints and 9 successes.
I see.
Oh my god.
I see.
Oh, you got what I got. You got what I got last time.
I see. We're back to the extremes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. As you pass the sack up to Eskil, there is a moment where you feel an extreme sense of like being in the wrong place. The room down here kind of like flashes and shifts to a I don't want to be too graphic because it's gross as fuck. The walls are flesh and meat and pulsing. There's small like tendrils and dripping blood from the ceiling.
Oh, what the fuck?
There are small kind of like faces in the walls that are like twisting and moving. And Eskil above you is actually a deer-skulled behemoth, like massively like muscled, and he has this like kind of red glowing eyes in the like faded sockets of the skull, and this kind of like misty breath just comes like dripping out of his mouth with this like saliva like dripping down onto his chest. And then back.
What the fuck?
Nope.
Harald sees this, right? Yeah.
Do I see that, or am I reaching from the bag at the time? I got a good spot hidden. Maybe that way means
So-
I don't spot what's hidden.
That would be like as you're going up, it starts to kind of flicker, and you see that as you pass the bag to Eskil, you see Eskil, and then as you kind of like react, you take in the room around you. For like a split second, you see those things. They kind of all like impact on your mind, and then it's back, and it's just normal how it was before.
Don't like it. Don't like it. I don't. I think. Hara will probably go. Kind of like blink, rub his eyes. That stereotypical. Is it still there, or is it
All back to normal.
okay? Is Harald up the ladder now? Back in the.
Were you heading back up?
Yeah. He was heading back up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Then you can like climb back up.
Okay, so Harald will go back to like the hole and stick his face in and sniff and see if he can smell like fumes or anything, because he knows that fumes can fuck you up.
Yeah. No, just musty. No like weird smells or anything.
Okay, so his conclusion is something we can't smell, but something down there is fucky.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, I don't think he says anything, but he's not going back down again. Fuck that.
Maybe keep an eye on the others to see if they also.
Yeah.
I will say that when you leave and as you walk around the church, that feeling of something being off is still with you. That doesn't go away. It's not like it's not like you stub your toe and then you're like, oh, pain and toe. It's nothing like sharp, and like it's like a very very slight, very very small, and it's almost like that feeling like you think someone's watching you, like you can almost feel their gaze on your back or something, but it's not obvious. It's subtle. How about the people still inside the weird meat canyon cellar?
Meat canyon?
I meant to say cellar, but I went meat canyon instead.
I like meat canyon.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a euphemism for something, but I'm not gonna.
God, no. Thinking about your goats again, huh?
Not my. I mean, yeah, but I mean, no. I think Leaf.
Yeah.
I think Leaf is gonna keep look. It wants to go down that hallway and like, check out the rooms and stuff and see what's in there.
Yeah, I would stick with Leaf. I would stick with Leaf and kind of do that again. Like I must have handed a lot of the stuff off to Harald, and so like I got hands. I can grab a couple more things, and then they can. I would assume that they would come back down, but yeah, that's currently what I'm thinking of doing.
Okay. In that case, the door on the left opens very easily, and inside is a stone room with weird symbols and scrawlings and a whole load of things, and bones and skulls on shelves and kind of scattered around. All completely clean. There's no kind of, assorted flesh with it. It's just very disorganized, random bones strewn about the place. Some of them have like little symbols and like carvings on them and stuff. But
It's like Bones Arts and Crafts Room.
Is this oh god, there's a name for that. Carving on bones. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a thing.
Scrimshaw,
thank you. No, I out of curiosity, maybe this is a question for LZ2s. Is there any kind of context back home where we would have seen not this exactly, but Scrimshaw, collections of bones, any sort of stuff like that? Is there like realistically any sort of context we would ever see anything that's like similar or?
Well, bones are like commonly used for like totems and and that sort of stuff. But I don't know, not necessarily. There
Okay.
isn't the scrimshaw isn't a thing. That's for sure.
Okay.
Also, hanging in the middle of the room on a kind of like short-ish rope string type thing is just a bundle of plants, like all kind of twisted together. And
Oh, 100%. Torch up to that. Try to light it.
Set on fire?
Light in the room. Yeah.
Okay. They're a little bit not wet, but they're not like particularly dry either. They.
I mean, and Leaf's kind of like gonna smack his arm away. Do you know what lighting certain plants can do to you, Sven? You need to be a little careful there. The plants are not.
I mean, I know what eating certain mushrooms could do to you, so I would assume that lighting certain plants would do the same. But listen, we're not going to be down here that long, and there's nothing in here of interest. I just wanted to see. It's fine.
I would say most likely you'd both be reasonably good at this, but if anyone has the edge here, it would probably be Sven, just because of experience. But if you could both roll me natural world, and feel free to, I would say average 50s around abouts there, give or take like 10 or so, would work for probably both of you.
I'll hit 60 because of that, just because I'm
I'd say just purely because okay.
What?
In this instance, Leaf,
This is bullshit.
we can probably assume that even if you are not an adventurer the same as Sven, you for whatever reason take an interest specifically in like herbs and grasses and all of that type of thing. So I apologize, Sven. Feel free to bump your natural world roll up to about 65.
Wow, you just rolled yourself a higher stat.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's awesome.
You rolled a 1, like you really have to.
Absolutely.
That's how it works in certain systems. Like, if you roll well on an occult roll in Call of Cthulhu, you gain Cthulhu Mythos. You don't want to gain Cthulhu Mythos because you lose sanity at the same time.
Yeah.
What I would say, like, for this show is the way we're kind of doing the skills and everything is once we get to them being needed, then we talk about what your skills would be, and kind of play off what the character has been role played as.
It's a conversation.
Yeah, it's something I've actually been quite enjoying with this so far.
I have too. Yeah. It's been really nice. Where it's like you'll be like, oh, this is an appropriate, like from a DM to a player perspective mechanically, like this would be appropriate.
What?
But if you have a special reason to do otherwise, like talk to me.
I mean, it makes sense because Leaf and Harold are like farmers and shit. Like we have I have goats, he has sheep, and like so we know what plants they could eat and like we could have and all that stuff. So it's like it makes sense that like Leaf would have that natural kind of like, oh, you don't fuck with this plant or fuck with this plant or whatever. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So considering you rolled a 1, which is a critical success, I will give you more than I intended to. Not only do you recognize these plants, technically speaking, they're not really plants, they're nettles, which while plants are also considered weeds, especially nowadays. Through your raids into the east that it is customary for a Slavic, some of the Slavic religions in the east to hang nettles over a door entrance to ward away demons.
Okay, I'll be like, Sven,
Fuck.
I recognize these. They hang these over doors to keep demons out. I don't like this room anymore, and this Leaf's gonna back out. Like, nope, don't want this.
demons. You said
Demons.
demons?
I said demons. They had the Slavic. What would I call it? What would I call? I don't even know if what would be the word
Slavs.
I would use.
It's
Was Slavs?
Slavic.
Okay.
the Slavs in the
Yeah.
east, the eastern
Okay.
peoples. Yeah.
The Slavs do it to keep demons out of rooms. I don't know why it's hanging. They usually hang them over doorways, but this is not. I mean, it's kind of hanging. Like, is there anything like? And then Leaf's gonna look on the ground. Is there like something on the ground? He's looking for like another trap door or something like that, because the only thing that makes sense to him then is like, oh, they hang it over doorways. So is there like a something on the ground that like would be keeping demons from coming through? Nope.
Sven just kind of pauses for a moment and just, okay, I won't burn the plants. Is there any gold in here? I'm
No,
and he kind of just picks up one of the skulls, the scrimshod skulls, and kind of like looks at it, and if it doesn't have anything on it, he just kind of fucking throws it.
Question.
Yes.
Would you like a little win for Sven?
Earn it. Earn it. Don't join the dark side. Don't take anything for granted. Earn that shit.
It's a very minor win for Sven.
Sure, if it's contextual, I'm fine with just having an L session for Sven if it's good for the story.
No.
So,
this
only
is
if it's good for the story.
This is just a minor note in the narrative of this room. As you say, is there anything like valuable in this room? You're kind of like swinging your torch around. You just see like a little shine, like a little glint. One of the skulls has a tooth of gold.
Oh. Just kind of does that and he throws this one. He goes, there we go. Why do they put gold in their teeth? That seems weird. And he just like opens up, he pulls if it's on the lower jaw, he literally just pulls the lower jaw off and he just like,
we already know they have too much gold. I mean, you saw the trinkets and like things they have up in the village. If they have so much gold, they can make teeth out of them. You kind of start getting the understanding of how much gold they have.
It's true. Glad we came over here and took our share.
And while Leaf backs out of this room, he's gonna try to open the door across the hallway. You said there was a door across the hallway, right?
That door is wooden, but locked. It has a little keyhole. You haven't seen a key for it.
Well,
But,
I mean,
yeah.
Leaf has his little hand axe that he throws and stuff. He's gonna.
I was gonna
what?
say like a minute max, and you can smack your
Yeah.
way through it pretty good.
Leaf's gonna smack his way through that door.
Okay. Like just the hitting in the right places. No need for a roll for this or anything.
Yeah.
Smack through, open the door. Let's say the lock comes off and falls away. Push the door open, and a lovely smell greets your nose as you see a ridiculous amount of meat hanging all over the place. You have like dried meat, smoked meat, in like big strips, and just like lying there prepared. You've also got slightly fresher meat, which looks like deer and maybe even some boar, which is ready to be cooked. It has essentially been prepared. There are also a few shelves of like baked bread, those big like wholesome loaves, and some wheels of cheese. However, there are literally no fruit or veg. It is all meat, cheese, and bread. It is literally my heaven.
Don't be selfish. It's our heaven.
It's our heaven.
Is there any? There aren't any like human bodies hanging in there or anything like that? Like they were eating people? Okay. I'm like,
I can understand the thought, considering you just got back from the bone room.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, hey, where did all the meat from the bones go?
Yeah.
It grows away. Is there anything that looks like I could grab and like just start munching on?
I'll tell you, absolutely, yes. Dried or
Okay.
smoked meat, either one will work.
Yep.
I will say as well, given your natural world role, these are all animals. So
Okay. Okay, cool.
None
Then
of
I'm gonna
the-
grab a piece of smoked meat and be like, meat, and I'm gonna show Sven and I'm gonna toss him a piece of smoked meat and
smoked or
grab
dried.
another one.
I'm just wondering, like, it's just purely for my own interest. Like, if your preference is smoked meat, do you throw him some smoked meat, or do you throw him some of the other dried meat?
You got to imagine that it's like smoked meat probably tastes and smells better and stuff, you know, but it requires like a little bit more effort. So
Yes.
No, Leaf's not gonna hide it from him. I mean, he's not been like doing a lot of the things because he's out of it, but like because of the whole woods. But like, nah, he'll throw like what looks good to Sven and be like meat and just throw some and yeah.
Sven, I would probably look at it for a moment, you know, and look at the room, and I'm gonna take a moment to just be like, okay, wait, now I don't understand these people. I don't understand them. I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know how this all works, but we're in a secret door through a unlit hallway filled with bones. And now we found a meat room filled with a feast that no one's in. But the meat's ready. He's gonna smell the meat. And he's just gonna kind of like look around and just be like,
it's not human. I looked.
And you know, he believes you and he smells it anyway, and he just kind of looks around and he's like, what's the fucking catch? Like, but there's I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from or what you're doing or how dumb you are. You don't go this deep into something and not go,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And it's at least like, what I don't understand is why was the meat room locked and not the bone room? Like it is very odd to me that the bone room with the demon protecting plant or weeds open, but I had to bust into this room with my axe. I would assume one of those priests up there had a key, but
yeah. So it just kind of like, does Sven get a vibe for anything? Well, here, I'll let you finish before we do that.
Apologies. It wasn't just smoked and dried and prepared. It was also salted meats.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah. So like, there's very meticulously prepared meats and things here, and it's like, all right, I may be exhausted, I may be confused, I may be covered in the blood of my enemies and also of people who just got in the fucking way, but I'm not blind. What the fuck is this? And he just kind of takes the moment to look around to see if he can just kind of feel like, is there some kind of vibe off? Is there something going on? He slows down to intentionally look and go, I don't trust this. What is going on here? You know, he's Mr. Bad Vibes, or he's Mr. Occult.
He's had enough to be, and he is kind of what's the word? Not paranoid, but like religiously paranoid. There's a word for it.
Religious, I think.
Yeah, but it's
superstitious.
There you go, superstitious. God, my brain.
For sure, absolutely. Or it's like, again, he doesn't understand any of it. He doesn't understand all the rules. He doesn't read, so like he doesn't understand anything, but he still gets a feeling for like, this doesn't feel right.
He doesn't read, but that doesn't mean he doesn't hear stories or anything. So
True.
roll me your cult, please.
All right.
I have learned of this since I studied archaeology. There's the difference between material culture and oral traditions.
Yeah. True.
So, you don't know much about the other religions and the other cultures of other places in terms of like let's call it like scholarly knowledge.
Mhm.
You know, so you're not going to be like, oh yeah, this is that thing from that religion over there. But you hear
Right.
stories and so forth. Prepared meats will often be offered to call it encroaching. I don't want to say encroaching spirits because that makes it sound too ghostly. In places that are thin,
Thin, or the divide between the take your pick of the spirit realm or whatever kind of stuff, and that
Tell you what, I'll do one better than kind of vaguely describing it. I'll tell you a story that you heard once.
okay. I love this. This is great. Okay.
There was once a people who settled in an area in the east. For the sake of people who are wondering, it would be kind of around the Bulgaria area. Maybe a bit further north.
Hmm.
And these people found that their friends or family, or even just strangers who are passing through, wandering merchants, would very occasionally disappear. And when they disappeared, sometimes they came back, but they were different. And as time went on and more of them disappeared, they found that through offerings of food, of the best food, the richest meats, and the most intricately prepared feasts, they could lessen these visitations, these disappearances. After some time, they found that they started to experience windfalls of extreme good luck. There would be a child or an adult would accidentally fall into a river and come out with fish in their pockets. They would find that an unfortunate, rash, or kind of like I'm not going to say a plague, it's not quite that bad, but an illness that sweeps through the village was beneficently cured because they managed to find some plants nearby that could be crushed down into a powder that got rid of it, that type of thing. And they prospered. And as long as they maintained the offerings taken out into the woods, I'm echoing in someone's. Rod, is that you?
Oh, we can't hear
No,
you,
that's
Rod.
not me.
Oh, there we go.
That's
Okay.
not me. It wasn't
Okay.
me. That's why I muted myself.
Oh, I
My
think
microphone's off, so it's definitely not me.
I think it's you, Goobs. Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it is your groups. Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
There you
Say
go.
something again.
Hello?
Yeah, that should do it.
Hello?
Cool. Sorry.
Okay. All good. However, that is where the story ends, because the story was told by a traveling merchant who visited them and was witness to one of these instances of beneficent luck. Essentially, they came upon a very rich deposit of essentially like a very strong fine clay. Just when they were in need of, expansion, like more jugs, more pots, clay works, very useful. The reason the story ends there is the next time he was around a couple of years later, the village was not there. None of the people were there, and anyone he spoke to had no knowledge of where the people who settled there went, or what happened to them.
They just disappeared.
As far as he was aware, yes.
Yeah.
This story was told one night a few years back from the traveling merchant who visited the village. He told you the story while you were all drinking and having fun, just passing ships in the night type thing. He was headed to a village further up north. I think probably this would have been probably Scandinavia area as opposed to Europe, like kind of Central Europe. And he never made it there. When you ended up in the village yourself, they never saw him. He just disappeared. But maybe he wandered off somewhere else, so who knows.
All right. Well, considering my superstitious nature and remembering that story,
Yeah.
this and Leaf, we shouldn't touch this. I think it's a bad idea. I think,
And
I've heard stories of something like this, and it wouldn't be wise. We have plenty of food back at the village. We don't need this, whatever this is.
I mean, that combined with the demon preventing across the hallway, I will take your word for it, Sven, and drops the meat and backs the fuck out of the room.
And as you are kind of, still messing about in the cellar down there, you hear the Jarl's voice kind of come in from back where you originated from, saying, "What did you find down there?"
We found, yeah.
I kind of take a second, and I look at Leaf and I go,
Nothing of worth.
they have a golden tooth and some bones, but that's really it. I think Harald must have gotten most of it.
Okay, well, get back up here and we'll take the loot down to the village.
Okay.
Harald's already walking towards the door.
I
With a
can't
big
tell if
bag
Harald is
over his
just like,
shoulder.
I don't want anything to do with this shit. It's weird. Or if he's just like, I don't give a shit. I want to go home.
It was more a case of, oh, they're already looking at everything, investigating. I'm just gonna fill my bag. And I'm like, oh, this is a very holy relic. Yeah. How much does it cost?
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. Put it in the bag.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. In that case, you can head on up. Vigdis and everyone else has essentially had a look around, found nothing of interest, and then headed back up themselves.
I think in Harald's case, it's more with the weird church stuff. It's this religion is already weird, and finding it has another weird section of the religion is like, yeah, but the whole fucking thing is weird. So it's just like, oh, but this thing is weird. I'm like, yeah, it's all fucking weird. It's just that it's extra weird, and then
It's
weird,
varying degrees of weird, yeah.
Yeah. And then he doesn't have a word for carbon monoxide poisoning, but you might that might be the case down in the thing.
I've
So
seen
he's
it
not going down
before.
there again.
There was no smell. There was no gas. There was no odor. He just fucking died, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen it.
That is carbon monoxide poisoning you're describing. But yeah, so I think for Harald, he's very down to earth when it comes to this stuff. It's like, oh, it's a curse here. It's like, okay, I don't care.
Okay, bye.
Literally don't. Yeah, exactly. Okay, bye.
A couple of the warriors and Eskil as well who are either like loaded up with loot or just aren't interested that much in the loot, have headed outside and they're kind of waiting to leave. So I imagine as you get back up, I'm guessing there's nothing else anyone else wants to do.
I mean, there was nothing else down there that it didn't check out, right? It checked out everything down there.
Yeah, you checked out everything down there.
I mean, I think at this point, Leaf is going to kind of look around and kind of upstairs and look at kind of put a plan together that he's going, I'm going to burn this motherfucker down. So he's going to be like, because he's all creeped out by everything. Downstairs, we find these meat things. We have all this shit. And it's just like, nah, I don't think I like this anymore. And it's going to wait till everyone gets out and just try, throw a torch and walk out.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna assume before that happens.
Yeah, before that happens.
Because that's a whole deal. I just want to take a look at the bodies that were already dead.
Sure.
Are they arranged in any particular pattern?
Just in a circle around this kind of vague, pointy symbol.
And
there's some scratchings around it and stuff, but nothing you can really decipher.
Okay, and the blood from there is just kind of pooling around them, or it's okay. Yeah. Sven tries to make sense of it for a second because he finally gets to the point where it's just like, all right, there's some weird shit going on. I don't fucking understand this, and I'm done. And then he goes upstairs and okay, well now he's on edge. Now he's thinking about this. Tries for 2 seconds. He goes, I'm fucking tired, and he just walks. He's just like, whatever. And he grabs if anybody's got a bag or something like that, he grabs the tooth and tosses it in there, and maybe anything else that he's found, small little trinket stuff that he found, but kind of tosses it in there and he goes, I don't know. I'm going back to the village.
Yeah. Okay. As you all leave, and the Jarl kind of says, all right, everyone, back to the village. Come on, let's go. We'll have a feast with the rest of the food we have and decide what to do tomorrow. And you'll head down the church. Yes?
On the way out, when everyone's leaving the church, is someone standing there with a torch ready to burn the whole thing down?
Yeah.
Good. I'm just making sure, because otherwise I would pick up a torch and be ready to burn the whole thing down.
Okay.
Leaf. I mean, after everything, he's not he's not a religious guy, but it's just everything happening and it's what he saw, and he's like,
Yes,
fuck
no.
this.
Ben just passes that, knows what's happening, pauses for a second and goes, fuck him.
So
I think the idea here is to cleanse it with fire.
Yes. Burn it in holy fire.
So as you all start walking down the pathway into the woods, away from the church, kind of, down off the hill, the torch catches the wood and starts to spread. I'm assuming you added some type of accelerant as well. Easy enough to do. And there are things in there that will also act as accelerants, like oil, etc. Very quickly, the church inside starts to spread. The fire starts to spread around. As it creeps across the floor, and obviously you're all very far away, so I'm just explaining this for the camera.
Mm-hmm.
The flames get to the circle and creep around the edges of the circle, leaving the bodies untouched. As it starts to engulf the building, it rises up and the fire starts to get bigger. Smoke starts to come out of the top of the church in a couple of places, one at the front, one at the back. The bodies begin to catch fire and pump out a couple of plumes of smoke that kind of rise and join the smoke escaping the building. Again, for the camera, as the smoke rises in two individual plumes up into the air, they take on a very vaguely a shape, almost like a golem of two people. Like there's very vague, kind of like very vague, bulky arms. You know, kind of like a hunched thing. And then the camera fades away and comes back to join the Vikings going through the forests.
Yay! Damn it.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
What could? Don't say that. Don't say that. It's like saying, how hard could it be? You don't say that.
Going through the forest, I would say not much of anything occurs of note that's worth noting, aside from Eskil kind of takes you a little bit by surprise by catching up with you kind of from behind somewhere, and like starts walking. I would say shoulder to shoulder. He's a bit bulkier, a bit bigger than you.
Yeah, he's a couple of inches taller as well.
Yeah. But he lumbers over to you and starts walking with you, kind of like shoulder to shoulder-ish, and says, "Are you all right, brother?
Yeah.
You seemed a bit off.
There was something funky down in that cellar. It's you know that mushroom that we have in the northern pasture that that does the smoke thing, and if you inhale it, you go. Whoa!
I know of it. I don't remember ever.
Yeah. Well, there was something similar down there because I just went. Whoa! But no mushrooms, but no weird smells. I don't know what it was, but.
Well,
I word for getting high, so it's just.
I was actually talking about at the village.
Hmm.
The fight. You did not seem particularly into it. It seemed to set you off kilter.
Did you not see the guy I dragged back into the house?
Yeah, I saw it, but you didn't seem. A few years ago, longer maybe even, you would have been cheering and screaming and laughing your head off.
We were younger.
We were younger, but you seem to have lost your joy for battle.
This might be my last raid, I think.
Why?
Well, you don't have children. I've got two children. I don't want to leave them fatherless, and I think this is getting more and more dangerous, and they can't stay scared and idiotic forever. So
and he sweeps his hand forward. He's like, "How is it getting more dangerous? We ripped them apart, and barely anyone got wounded."
Yeah, we ripped some villagers apart.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Eventually, there's going to be a fort on the next hill.
No,
and it's going to be 500 men with swords.
You see, brother, I think that is the problem. It is not that it is too dangerous. It is that you are not being challenged. It has been a while since you've come up against anyone who gave you any sort of serious threat.
I mean, that is also true.
Alright, so we just have to find something to challenge you. Find someone who is worthy of a fight with you. Aside from me, of course, because I would kill you.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone in this country seems, and he does this with his hands, so small.
Everyone seems small to me.
Little babies.
Yeah, but I mean, we're both big guys. So it's like, well, you know what I mean? They're tiny, and you have to be careful, otherwise you break them. Or if you're not careful, and you don't have to really work for it, you just break them. They just, like a twig, they snap in half.
Maybe we could talk to the Jarl, pick a fight with one of the settlements around us when we get back home. Maybe a good fight with some proper warriors would perk you up a little bit.
Maybe.
I feel like
these Westerners are
yeah. Maybe a good scrap with some proper Vikings would cheer you up.
Yeah, maybe.
Think about it.
And Harald kind of kicks a rock down ahead of him.
Yeah, like, oh no, man, I don't know.
Yeah, kind of like that. No way, man. This fucking sucks.
It's like a
It's
guidance
not a
counselor
phase,
talking to a
Mom.
teenager. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
he's not a teenager. He's just morose.
Exactly.
I will say as well, the sensation you picked up in that church is still with you.
Yeah.
So
I think that's why he's not so talkative right
Yeah.
now with Eskil.
I would say, aside from just kind of like a reasonably friendly and pretty light like pat on the shoulder from Eskil, he doesn't really say much else after that. He's just kind of like, and then you walk on in silence.
Cool.
Would Leaf and Sven talk about what happened down there in the thing? In the Meat Canyon? I ask mostly because I could use
Please don't call it that.
I ask mostly because I need the toilet.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
We could talk
all
about-
right. Just
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
it off
Rem-
now. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Get out of here. We'll handle it from here.
Okay, cool.
Remember, chat, when you contribute to Patreon, you contribute to the cast diaper funds. So
Yes. We need that
No.
diaper fund, guys. All right, help us out. Okay, help us out.
like, Leaf would be like, so Sven, you got this look when I found the meat. You never really kind of told me why you were a little.
Oh,
What stories had you heard that you didn't want to? Because it smelled really good.
Well, it was a story about some old ways of the people in the East. A traveling merchant came by, told me the story about how if people had these feasts and offerings and banquets of meat, smoked, salted, dried, good food, and it was offered in the right way to the right gods, it would bring them fortune, prosperity, safety, essentially blessings. And then the traveling merchant that told me this, after he told me this, never made it to where he was going. So I just very clearly remember that experience and that story, and it rang so true and so accurate to what we saw there that we're not taking meat back. We have meat, we have food, we're not hungry. The village will provide us for what we need. We didn't need to take it from there. And
Well, that combined with the anti-demon plant,
that's
What
all
do
you.
they-
I've never heard of such a thing, but
well, I'm telling you, I have, and
Yeah.
the raids before, I've learned of these, and they were doing some stuff that does not seem wise.
I mean, making a wooden palisade out of fucking twigs isn't quite wise. I don't think these lesser people quite know what wise is yet. Maybe they're young
Well-
people.
Well, you talk about them being, lucky and plentiful. This little town has a lot of gold and a lot of things that we've never run into before.
Well, I wouldn't say that I haven't run into something like that before. There's definitely been plenty of villages and towns and places in which they have plenty. They have more than enough for themselves. And if they're unaccosted by any other peoples or places, they will thrive. Those people will grow, they'll thrive, they'll become, you know, when given a peaceful situation, they will grow and they will prosper. And I think maybe, as we knew, we're the first ones to ever challenge them. So, yes, they have a lot of gold, but I've met new villages and new peoples and new places, and they do have quite a lot because it's never been taken from them.
I mean,
We're the first here.
Yeah, I agree, and that was why we were brought here. But nothing about this village or these woods has seemed right to me the whole time we've been here.
Well, I won't disagree with that. There is definitely something uncomfortable about this. I had my own little moment on the boat, if you remember. Something about this place is off, and the faster we can get done and be gone and forget about this place, the better. That's all I'm concerned about is getting the job done and getting home. Past that, they can keep their bones and meat rooms. I don't care.
I wouldn't mind burning their whole village down on the way out also.
Well, we'll see what the Jarl says. But either way, my concern is far more direct. Get in, get out, go home.
I agree. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay. Get in, get out, meet Canyon.
Nope.
Nope.
I will not. I won't allow you to make that the tagline for this fucking episode.
Episode 3, the Meat Canyon.
When the teens start referring to vagina as Meat Canyon, I'm gonna blame Sheepy.
Oh God!
I will take no responsibility for that.
I gotta go get some Meat Canyon this weekend.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I Sven is just so fucking tired, dude.
Yeah.
Like when he gets back, if there's time, he's gonna take a nap. Like he's gonna find a fucking barn and like you know, some hay or whatever, and he's just gonna be like, I'll be back. I need a moment. I'm exhausted. The warriors fatigue has set in, and I didn't have much life in me beforehand, so give me an hour or two. I'll be back.
Yeah. All right. And yeah, when you get back, there's a little bit of it's a little bit of like getting stuff organized and put into piles and etc. Like the prisoners are essentially like thrown into one house. The rest are kind of commandeered by yourselves. You know, basically like I sleep here kind of vibes. And a big fire in the center is kind of built up. Some wood is chopped down to build up this nice kind of like roaring bonfire vibe in the center. And within a little bit of time, everyone has congregated. Good, probably about 40, 45 warriors. There's a few were left back with the ships. And when everyone is gathered up, you know, a mug of some form of fermented beverage, along with some food from the supplies brought over, and also food from the town as well, which there was a reasonable amount. So you can have a reasonably modest feast. Not as grand as it could have been, but possibly wisely you chose to ignore the meat.
Not eating cursed meats.
Yeah.
In the Meat Canyon room.
The Jarl stands up and kind of says, I am undecided as to whether we head back tomorrow or whether we keep searching around this area and see if there is more to raid. I have heard no rumors or no information about any other places to raid. However, there is the mines, which we could look at and see if there is much there, and there is also the possibility of more settlements in this area. The trade-off, however, is that we may run into more soldiers. There may be reinforcements from the area if we do stay around much longer. So, myself personally, I'm not worried about that too much, but there is always a possibility that they happen to have a lot of soldiers in the area, actual soldiers. So I figured I would put it to a vote, as we are all equals on this raid for the most part. Would you like to stay around a few more days and see what we can find, see if we can gather a bit more loot to take back? Or should we head back to the ships tomorrow and sail back home? And essentially he holds a vote. I'm curious as to how you all feel. I have a feeling like a couple of you may want to head back already, but
Leaf will be like, I vote we burn this village down and get the fuck out of here tomorrow.
Sven, internally, I would have said, let's get the fuck out of here. But most of his group, maybe even Aki included, would probably say, let's stay.
yeah. I mean, that is their preference.
Right. And I'm not the leader. I'm like the person who does a lot of the talking. I'm not a leader.
You'd probably be considered the first among equals, as it were.
Yeah. So if they were all interested in staying, I would probably not fight them too much and be like,
okay,
I don't like this place, but maybe it's just this town. Maybe we find another village that isn't a cursed hellhole.
And Aki looks over you and says, considering what we found here, if we can find more in places close by, we could end up with a nice little nest egg for the next rest of the year, maybe, which would ease our needs for, at the very least, the rest of this year.
That would be nice. I wouldn't be opposed to that. If the rest of you all are in favor of that, then fine. You have my vote as well. I vote we stay.
Then you got Leaf. Leaf looks over at Sven, like when he says that, and like,
and Sven just kind of looks at him and goes like as like a, I am one voice in a group. He actually gives him a look of like, you don't know me.
Yeah.
Like we had a moment in there where we talked, but like, remember, you don't know me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just more like, okay. It's not like it's like a didn't expect to hear that from you kind of thing. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Okay, kind of surprised him. Like I thought he would be like, get the fuck out of here too. We got after Meat Canyon. So I mean, after
he's experienced plenty of weird things before, but you know, this may be a pretty weird thing, but he's not. He is a hired hand. He has a group of people that have a job to do based on what they do best. So he's not gonna really fight him. You know,
I kind of like the idea of Sven going, well, Jarl, what do you want us to do? Since you're the man in charge, you're the one who hired us. So
yeah. I mean, in a way, he kind of does that, but he's also just like, he also knows that like his people are gonna say stay. Like it's not even a question. He knows that's going to be the case. So.
It's possible if the haul wasn't as good, then more people would have been like, there's no guarantee we'll find anything out here, so may as well just head back. Like, not worth the effort.
Yep.
With the things found and the gold and all the loot, it's like, well, a couple of days. If we do find something great, we get more. It's worth the extra effort and extra time. That's the vibe that the general Viking raiding party has. I would say there are probably a couple of people who are a little bit off-put, or a little bit like hesitant, similar to Leaf, but not many.
Because I mean, are there any? Okay, has anyone else besides like Leaf and Herald and like and even Sven seen anything or experienced anything? Or are we like the weird ones who have like kind of has anyone else like been like, oh shit, or anything like that? Like,
can I pop in here?
Yeah.
Why don't you just role play that and see what happens?
Well, I was going to say, how would you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be
like
I'll define. I could do. Here
At the very least, no one else has mentioned it.
Okay.
yeah.
Leaf will be like, as you're all voting to stay, what is the point of all these things we've gathered if we don't make it out of here alive? There's something wrong here. There is something wrong in this. And I know I've seen things. I don't know if anyone else here has seen anything, but that church wasn't right. Those woods are not right. There are things that just shouldn't be here, and we have gathered enough gold, enough gems, enough things that we should all be happy, and we should not let greed get to us. I know we're Vikings, so we go off and we go into these adventures and do these things, but there's something wrong with this village, and I would prefer to leave while we still can spend the gold.
And
when he does this talk to everyone, I'm going to look around and see if you get a slight, people involuntary small little head nod, like read the expressions of people and see if I can detect anyone going, yeah, or yeah, I saw some shit too, man.
In that case, just having a bit of a look here. I want to say appraise because that's probably the closest I see on the list that we have. Possibly spot hidden would work, but I don't want to always rely on spot hidden. It just happens to be the roles have mostly. So I'll say appraise. I would say, unless you have a very strong reason, I would say 20 to about 35, because I don't imagine, aside from battle, you are particularly, even if you're close with the people, the Vikings, I don't think
Is this me trying to read expressions?
Yes. I wouldn't say you have, okay. That's fair.
I am shit at people reading.
Yes.
I'm worse at writing and medicine, but I'm shit at people reading.
I was just looking. I don't have a very. I think it's higher than it should be. I mean, I need to up it a little bit, like to about 50. But can I roll persuade and see if like my persuade is like convinces anyone to like kind of at least like nod their head and like kind of like.
So what I would say is 50 is reasonably high. I would need a reason for you to be persuasive.
Maybe 50 is okay. It's higher than 10 then. I don't know what it would be like. Because I think it's a.
What I would say is, in this raid outing, Leaf has been quite panicky. Has been quite panicky and has at least twice now, like, gone a bit OTT and screamed at a couple of the random Englishmen.
Yep.
So I could be okay with his persuade being like 40s-ish.
Okay.
However, I would say he is not going to be as persuasive as he might usually be to these Vikings. Just purely because of how things have played out.
We talk about like Herald and Leaf have been doing this for a while. We're like some of the elder raiders. So like I'm gonna roll the 40 then and see what happens.
You can roll the 40. What I was gonna say is you could roll the 40, but you're going to have a cap of 30. But that is.
There you go.
I mean, I rolled a 9, so I'm rolling well today all of a sudden.
Yeah. Okay. The Jarl, like, kind of gives you a bit of a glare and says, Leaf, we don't need these wild superstitions in this discussion, in this vote. If there is a threat of some soldiers or something along those lines, I'm perfectly happy to discuss leaving because of that, but strange whispers or a feeling of something being a little off or a little strange is not really a reason to pass up on more loot, on more gold. And he kind of like looks around and sees a little bit of tensing. Like, I'd say 1 in 5, 1 in 4 of the Vikings have kind of got a look about them that they resonate with what you've been saying. Like, maybe they've experienced something, maybe they've had the same feelings. If you're okay with it, I'd say probably both Sven and Harald have some vibe of that as well. I leave it down to you how much, but I know you've both experienced a feeling of wrongness and etc. on this trip, so feel free to be part of that. Oh, yeah.
And Leaf will be like, you know me, I'm not a religious individual. I'm not into these ramblings. But the second we've stepped onto this land, it hasn't felt right. I'm not saying that you're wrong, that there probably is more loot to gather. These mines sound like they could be prosperous, but there just has been something off this entire time.
And the Jarl like looks around and takes stock of the atmosphere, which has dropped. And incidentally, atmosphere has dropped a little bit. The happy party like vibes after that speech has dropped a little bit.
Sven, like, if he glances over at us, like, Sven would probably give the look of just like kind of, I don't know how to explain it other than like Sven would give a look showing that maybe there was some admittance, but it wasn't a big enough deal, or it's he is only one of many, and he's like, I mean, even if I do agree, it doesn't matter. You know, there's weird things that happen all the time, and we're tired, and who fucking knows? Maybe there was something in the meat we made. I ate. Maybe, I don't know, but we got a job to do. You know, that's Sven's thing is this: the Jarl paid us to be here, not to have an opinion.
Yeah.
You know, so he's not really picking sides here. It's just not his place.
I'd say the majority of the raiders are still happy to go with the Jarl, but there's enough people who have got their backs up over Leaf's like speech, let's call it, that he's I would say probably this doesn't vibe as much with Sven, your group, because you don't know the Jarl that well. I'd say Harold and maybe some of the other raiders who've been on multiple raids with the Jarl would see that he's gone from like genial leader to slightly more canny politician, if that makes sense. And he says, Leaf, I am not dismissing your concerns. I'm just saying that there is no proof of what you speak, and no one else has come to me with these problems. It is possible that there is something strange and bizarre happening here, but none of us have felt it. There's a couple of like shiftings and you know, people who are like fidgeting a little bit, and the Jarl says, and even if there was, we are a force enough to deal with whatever it is. So, if you would really like to push this, then perhaps we should leave it in the hands of the gods. If you would like to push the issue, then you and me, we can have a duel. We can figure it out that way.
Oh fuck.
For some reason, Harald has a bag of popcorn all of a sudden.
Leaf will be. I think Leaf will, like, who's been on many raids, but like, he's not a. He's. I mean, he's a daggers. He's a in the. I don't know. I don't think Leaf is confident enough that he wouldn't get like. The Jarl wouldn't get like a good hit on him and not like take him out of commission. And he's kind of like, what's the point of fighting and possibly dying for that if like the whole point was not to die? Like, so he's like, fine, you win, I will stay, but I just want everyone to remember that I put up an ejection, and when anything else strange happens, because I know I can tell others have seen things or have gotten that feeling that I am the one who wanted to leave. I am the one who warned you that this place was wrong. And then, but I will continue on and I will do as you say, y'all.
The Jarl like steps forwards towards you and like bends forward slightly and says, "That is noted. And could you please roll me your appraise and your occult?" Appraise, I would say, would depend on how empathetic and like not empathetic. I would say it's actually more. This one would actually be a bit more based on like your ability to read body language, etc., especially in combat situations. But let's say for the sake of it, I'd say anywhere probably up to about 35, as I feel like Leaf is a bit more empathetic than some of the other raiders, like for example Harold. But I don't think it's yeah. Okay.
And I failed both of them.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
And the Jarl leans back and says, "All right, for tonight we feast. For tomorrow we will have a look around and see what we can find." And there's a bit of cheering. Some of it is half-hearted. There are some people who clearly would like to leave, or who are a bit disquieted by whatever it is that is here, real or not. And I would say, unless anyone has any conversations they'd like to have or anything they'd like to do, we could probably hit sleep at this point.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. In that case, could everyone roll me a D10, please? Just a straight D10.
Love it when the DM starts digging into blank rolls.
Oh, yeah. Okay. In that case, Leaf, as you are sailing on a boat by yourself at the helm, the day is gloriously sunny, and you have dolphins like jumping along the side of your boat. You have seagulls up above cawing. You remember the feeling of being in control and being I imagine there's a few times you've taken the helm of a ship, you've kind of been in charge of the ship, for want of a better word, and it's always a glorious feeling. As the ship carries on, as it keeps going, you see up ahead a very similar to what happened that time a while ago when you were crossing the channel over to England. There was like a big thick blanket of fog. You see a similar kind of like big wall of fog in front of you that you're slowly sailing towards. And as you keep going, the fog slowly envelops around your ship as you head into it, and the light mostly it's quite thick fog again, mostly disappears. The light and your like vision, it's not quite as thick as it was before. You can still see the boat, you can still see the sea around you. The dolphins seem to disappear, the sounds of the seagulls above you disappear, and you're in that quiet again.
Leaf will kind of take the ship and just be like, look around, look where, like, he expects like all the other Vikings to be like, rowing now, like it's because it was such a nice day, but now it's like the fog and everything like that, and just be like, hello.
The fog like swallows your voice, not literally, but like as you speak, you would kind of expect it to be expansive and echoey. It sounds like you're talking in a very small room. And as you're like looking around, you notice that the blue of the sea starts to from below like turn into this inky black, like these kind of like clouds of black start like blossoming under the sea, and start to fill the area around your ship with like this kind of like dark black ink looking things. At the same time, you notice that the color of the fog shifts from this kind of like blocking the sunlight vague to a much more kind of like ghostly ethereal blue. It's not like a strong blue, it's like a soft blue. It's not a soft blue, it's like an icy blue. And as you look up, you can see like vaguely the moon above you is that kind of like icy blue. And then the ship like rocks as to the side, to one of the sides of the ship, you see this kind of like fairly desiccated arm like reaching out of the inky black and like grabbing onto your ship and pulling itself up. It is it seems to be like a very desiccated mummy looking like warrior. It's got the helmet on, it's got the like vestiges of like leather armor or chainmail, and like rusted really like ancient rusted sword. A couple of more hands like come up and start like climbing up on the deck of your ship.
Leaf is going to grab his little axe and just start like chopping at the arms, like trying to like just keep them from gaining hold of the ship, and just. But it feel like for every arm he chops, two more appear. It's very like Hydra-esque kind of thing, and it's just like
some of the arms start grasping at you. Some of them start like taking their axes or their swords to the ship and start kind of cutting slow divots in it and holes in it. A couple of leaks even start springing in your ship. And as they keep like climbing over, there's this kind of almost still complete silence aside from the creaking of the wood of the ship in the sea.
Leaf's gonna go grab a would there be torches or anything like that on the sides of the ship, or would they like grab a torch off the side of the ship and start like seeing if he could set the arms on fire? And at this point, he knows that he could set the ship on fire also, but what's the point if the zombie arms are fucking knocking holes in it? He's gonna just start attempting to set the arms on fire.
Yeah. And yes, you do, and like parts of the ship set on fire, and some of it is put out as the ship actually starts to sink a little bit as the water starts to come up on the deck, and is the more creatures, the more of these weird like desiccated corpses start to climb onto your ship, the more the ship like starts to drop and to let more water on. So you know the fire. I would say as well as you start like hacking away at them, you notice like a lot of them have like twigs and like moss and things like that, like kind of all over them. They look very kind of like they were just sitting there desiccating away or something.
Leaf's like, I told you we should have left. I knew this place was wrong. I knew all of this was wrong. And he's just gonna keep swinging and going like, oh, I'm gonna die, but I ain't letting these motherfuckers like take me out without a fight. This is not the Viking way. This is a 100 versus 1, and it doesn't matter. I'm going to fire and you put things on fire. I'm gonna axe as many things as I can until I can't anymore.
And as the ship slowly starts to get lower and lower in the water, and you're kind of running up and down, like hacking away, like limbs get cut off, heads get cut off, and there's never a cessation to these arms, to these desiccated corpses. You feel a like tugging on your leg as you see they have like pushed smashed their arms through the hull of the ship and grabbed you, and at this point the ship starts to drift beneath the surface. You start to drift beneath the surface. As much as you hack away, arms start to grab you, hands start to grab you, and this sense of being dragged down into the inky blackness under the blue moon.
Leaf's gonna start screaming because he doesn't want to drown. And no!
And
let go of me!
The scream gargles off into a bubble, and then into silence as Leaf is dragged down under the water, and you wake up. But hold there for now.
Keep screaming for the rest of the episode.
Keep screaming. We just want to see the visual, so mute yourself, but keep screaming.
Sven.
Yes, sir.
On the hunt, walking through a forest. It does not look like the forests back home. The trees are a bit bigger. However, these trees have no leaves, so they look very desiccated, very dead. And it is a clear night. So while it is nighttime, you can see pretty well by the light of the green moon.
You said green moon?
A soft emerald light permeates the forest.
If I look at the moon or whatever, am I seeing? Is it like just our moon but colored differently, or is it a different moon?
It is our moon but colored differently.
Okay.
The thing you are hunting is pretty easy to track. And within a couple of minutes of silently moving through this forest, you finally move out onto a path, and you look down and you see it. It is a deer, a stag. Tall, slender, long arms, long fingers, and as you step out onto the path to see it, it's reasonably far away from you. It turns around to face you with this, like, long, elongated, big teeth, skull, and, like, small emerald glints in its eye sockets. The form itself is like you remember from the book. It is slim, it is long, but it feels... I won't necessarily say scary, because that's really down to Sven, but it feels off-putting. It feels...
It's not friendly. I don't feel comforted by its existence. It's like it's some sort of hostile something or other. Like,
it feels potent. And you see as it turns to you and it kind of rakes its fingers across the ground, you hear a sound almost like a panting of a horse, you know, that kind of like and you see this steam kind of like coming out of its mouth in the night, you know, that kind of like, interestingly, it's kind of a green tint to the steam because of the moon.
Okay.
And the pant, and it's got like these, sorry to get a little bit gross, but these globules of like saliva just dripping out of this like kind of, you know, heavily big teethed mouth, along with its antlers, which are moss covered, as is most of it. It is kind of very earthy, very moss covered, browns and greens. And in its antlers are these intestines, which are kind of like draped over it in a kind of like, almost like a ticker tape, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Holy shit. I'm gonna slowly like draw my axes.
Yeah.
Very calmly. Even if it's looking right at me, just really calmly.
And its arms go up and behind its back and draw out 2 axes.
Oh, fuck me. What?
These like long arms, which almost like reach from tree to tree along the path, then are kind of almost just, I'd say just below a T-pose about there, like with these like axes that just a little bit of smoke and etc. are just kind of like drifting off them.
How tall would you say it is, and like wide? Like
Probably about 7 foot.
Okay.
Wide, the arm length is probably around about 6 foot, 5 foot. It itself is not wide. Its body is quite thin but sinewy.
Right. And before because I mentally I see this and I know like the reflection, I'm like, okay, this is happening. Before I act, I want to pause, and I remember the dagger from the church. Is it on me if I look down?
Roll me your occult.
All right. Come on. Cross your fingers for fuckery. Not that kind of fuckery. God damn it.
You're so good at it, and you still failed.
I'm so bad at this, and I have the highest fucking occult.
Yes, it is.
It is on me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. I would much rather you said that it wasn't on me.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I was gonna say the second he said it was on you, it was like, oh no, that's bad.
Yeah, but you know, role play it out. Sven puts the axe away and grabs the knife.
Yeah.
And then he kind of like has one axe in his hand and he holds the knife to the thing, And he does that for a moment before doing anything. Does it react?
No.
Okay. Sven charges.
Okay. And I would say probably the only thing the creature does is it like braces, almost like to get ready to attack. You know, one of its legs goes back, and it's got those I can't remember what they're called, but they're the type of legs like dogs have. You know, it's got the bend in it.
The backwards jointed ones.
Yeah.
Or well, yeah.
I can't remember what the actual technical term for that is, but
yeah.
He steps back like that, so one leg is like kind of braced backwards in preparation for a hit. However, does not react as you plunge the knife. Where?
It would be straight into its heart.
Straight into its heart.
Yep. Just.
And
because I still have the axe in my other hand, you know. So.
And as the knife plunges right into its heart, you feel the sensation of being grabbed and held by these long arms as you're held in place, and the skull like kind of leans down towards you till the tip of the bone like snout is almost touching your nose. And when it speaks, you smell like a mixture of like earthy forest along with like death and decay, like rotting flesh and all that type of stuff.
What the fuck? Okay.
And it says, "Are you hunter or hunted?" And then you wake up.
Fuck off. I don't know if you want me to wait to react, and we'll do that. I'm sure Harald is up next.
No,
Harald.
Harald sleeps with Dreamcatcher. He sleeps just fine. No. Harald has biscuits. He'll be fine.
Harald. No dreams for you.
What?
You.
Fuck you, Harold.
You are sitting in the light of the red moon.
This is the part where you say, it's not a dream for you. For you, it actually happens. Fuck you.
You are sitting in the light of a red moon upon your seat of skulls.
Oh, yes. Clearly.
And you are watching the progress of your brother Eskil as he slowly makes his way up this mound of skulls upon which you sit. You are there. Do you have two axes? Sorry, or
Yeah.
so you are sat there, full, edgy yet badass anime pose with like one knee up and like one of your axes like rested on that knee, and then the other one like posted up on the skulls. As your brother walks up towards you. And he kneels. And he says, "My lord, what is our next move? You spoke of leaving. You spoke of giving up war. Do you wish to run away from the fight?"
I think in this version of Harald's dream, he looks down at Eskil and says, "I want my mound of skulls to be a mountain."
Then we shall have to find worthy skulls for you to collect. And he stands up, walks up towards you, and slowly rests his hand on your shoulder, and you wake up.
Woohoo! See, I won my dream. You guys suck.
Fuck you, kid. All right. Just because I have mental distress doesn't mean you get to hold it over me. You dick.
Just because you can roll a dice and we can't doesn't mean
Yeah,
you need
apparently,
to mark.
right?
How much of this sheepy was corn inspired? Because that was literally
Yeah, right.
a skull throne.
Literally skulls for the skull throne.
I mean, it's hard not to evoke
That's
corn
fair.
if you do something along those lines.
Very true.
So, before all of you wake up,
We are the first branded corn berserkers.
Yeah, literally.
it is called Beserkr. Before you wake up and, have a chance to react to these things and everything, I just wanted to, check in with the mental state of all of the characters. Like, how you doing, how you feeling, and,
Sven just kind of wakes up and just God damn it. Like, he immediately wakes up. He's been here before. Different context, but he's trying to hold it together because his group is, as far as he knows, not experiencing any of that.
Yeah.
If they are, they're not saying anything. And he is just trying to hold it together as he keeps getting shit on by this whatever is going on here. So he's just breathing, pausing, and he's very spacey. If you talk to Sven, he's very spacey. He's very kind of out of it because he is just focused on keeping it together. But he isn't going to dig into why he's having trouble,
Yeah. Does he have a thought on the question?
Huh?
Does he have a thought on the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood. I thought you said that you were just wanted to check in on the mental state of everybody.
Oh, for sure. But also, he was asked a question in his dream.
Oh. That question. Okay. Are you the hunted or the hunter or the hunter or the hunted? Sven's been very confident of his abilities his entire career doing this. But for maybe the first time, he has a moment of, or an inkling of like, maybe I am the hunted right now.
It would not be weird to have felt that way in that dream.
Right. It's whether or not he arrives at a conclusion,
And he doesn't have to.
he feels a sense of doubt, which is, bad.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
Fair enough. Leaf. How you doing, bud?
Leaf wakes up and is sweaty and just like gasping, and he goes, maybe I should have taken the duel. This shit keeps getting worse, and he's just like, for someone who wasn't into the occult, doesn't like really not like all that into these beliefs, and it's just like the shit keeps piling on him, and so he's just like, what to like, what can I do? Because he knows he's stuck there. He can't leave by himself. He's not there. Like, he's like stuck with this, and it's just like he's starting to get a little panicky. Like, he's starting to get like because he thinks he's losing his mind. He's like I'm the only one. I mean, I'm one of the only ones seeing this shit. I'm the only ones experiencing this. I'm having these fucking vivid nightmares, and just none of it makes any sense to him. And he's just like, he starts to go into maybe the duel makes more sense. I'd rather get swung down by the y'all's axe than fucking getting zombie ghost things pulling me into the ocean and drowning. So,
and as he's kind of sitting there after having kind of jerked awake and a little bit of a cold sweat. Eskil like kind of walks past and in front of him, and like it's essentially kind of turns around and like smiles at him a little bit and says, "You haven't been sleeping well the last couple of nights."
The nightmares. I've never had nightmares like this. And they just continue to get worse. And I know that something is coming. We are in trouble. I don't know how I know it, but I know it.
Maybe you are just bloodsick.
I would like an explanation of what sickness is affecting me, because before we got here, none of this had ever crossed my mind. The possibilities. This place is just wrong, my friend. It is wrong.
And just as an aside for you as well, because Leaf would know this. Bloodsick essentially means like sick of battle, of killing, of the fight.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's. I mean, it's just like your like PTSD kind of.
What you said still works.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to add that for your info.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
And Eskil like kind of goes, kind of like leans towards you a little bit and like sniffs, and he says, "Before we head off today, you should have a wash." And then he like looks down at your like the lower part of your body, and he says, "Your dogs are barking," and then walks off.
Does that mean my feet stink? Is that?
Yeah. But it's also a reference to your dogs, because I just
I'm like,
I thought of it and I wanted to make that reference.
There you go. Like
You're literally
Go back
Harald going.
like go back to fucking your sheep like your brother.
And Harold,
Mhm.
how are you when you wake up?
I think he's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Harold is like a fucking constant tone of "it's fine," and you know
Hey,
what?
man.
I hate him for that. I fucking hate him for that shit.
Hey.
I kind of think Harald takes it all in stride,
Yeah.
including the dreams. Not necessarily saying, "Yes, these are prophetic dreams. I must follow them." More like, "They're dreams.
And
You have weird dreams every fucking night."
yeah, nothing particularly overly weird happened in that one. To be fair, although it was weird that your brother was subservient to you, because he's never been subservient to you.
No, it's my older brother.
Yeah, I don't think you've even ever beaten him in an arm wrestle, but
No, probably not. See, it's the case of Serena and Venus Williams going, "I'm really good at tennis." Yeah, but you're not the best at tennis in your family, and you won multiple Wimbledons, but you're still not the best at tennis of your two siblings, of the two siblings.
I'd say like I wouldn't necessarily say you like it's open to debate as to who the better warrior is, but he's definitely stronger.
Yeah. It's a case of I am very large and strong. It just happens so that my older brother is larger and stronger.
Very, very large and very, very strong. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think. I mean, Harald and Eskil have a very good relationship, so they're never like, "Yeah, let's see who the stronger brother is. Put him up." That's never happened, because A, we don't have that relation, and B, someone's gonna get killed.
Yeah. In that case, as you get up and as you go about the day, unless anyone would like to seriously raise some issues or have any particular conversations, I'm going to fairly broad strokes the day, if everyone's all right with that.
Yeah.
So essentially the day proceeds fairly quiet. The Jarl gathers everyone together and says that you are going to do some scouting around for the day to see what you can find. Once it gets closer, once you've all wandered around, you'll think about, if you don't find anything, maybe packing it in and heading back to the boats. He essentially says you'll likely have another conversation and vote, depending on what is found or if there's any inclinations of things found. So, my question, seeing as we are on the coast, which direction would you like to pick? There is north, there is west, and there is south.
South is where civilization is. South is where money is.
Yeah.
If you would, and keep in mind, even though there are 3 cardinal directions you can go in, you don't have to go in separate directions each. You can all go in one direction, or you can go wherever you like, basically.
Yeah, my vote would be south as well. Civilization, and I don't want to go. If I can.
The north would be up towards the church, just as a sidebar.
Right. Yeah. There's north is near the church. West would be into the forest.
Yeah.
South is along the coast and near civilization, meaning more money. South is the obvious winner here. It may also be that Sven is trying to doesn't want to go into the forest and up to the church and all that stuff, but he doesn't have to tell anybody about that because south is the better option, clearly.
And that makes sense that he wouldn't want to go deeper into the forest, and it would make sense he wouldn't want to go further up towards the church area. Harald makes sense that he would want to head south because there's the higher possibility of civilization. Leaf. There are multiple parties going out in different directions, so...
Leaf is following Harold. He's
Okay.
not like, at this point, he's like the shit with the y'all and the like, kind of like whatever. And it's just like, no, Harold is like the one that I can trust, and he's the one who's like, him and his brother is ginormous. So when the shit hits the fan, because Leaf thinks the shit's
Just
gonna hit
hide
the fan.
behind us.
Yeah, no, and I'm not behind Harold, more his brother. I mean, it's just like, I'm not gonna hide. No, it's not even hide. It's the like, he wants the best warriors, and you guys are the best warriors.
And
so you are the.
And you're wondering why Leaf has low persuasion with Vikings.
I mean, it's not even that, because I feel like Leaf would have, on a normal case, would have higher persuasion.
Oh,
It's Is the shit's been like
Yeah.
not going. I mean, and he's having the worst nightmares he's ever had. He's just like, I'm going with the people I know that I don't have to like fucking worry about, and like he would rather just go home, but he's just like, no, fuck this. I'm going with Harold, and yeah.
I am not attempting to sway your decision. I'm just curious. Are you happy following the coast then?
I mean, am I happy? No, I want to go home. But the thing is that I mean, you can't, like I said, you can't go by yourself. There are 2 boats, and unless he wants to go duel the y'all, that he's not going to be able to do that. So he's staying and going. This is the worst case. I mean, this is the best case in the worst case scenario that we're living in right now. So yeah.
In that case, you all head south.
Wait, quick question.
Yes.
We've been further north before, right? As in previous raids. Is it further north or further south we've been?
You've been further north, definitely, possibly further south. You're not entirely sure exactly what area you've hit, but like definitely yes, further north.
Yeah. Cool.
Again, who knows how far, but in that case, I will tell you about what the other search parties found when you get back. For now, I will tell you about when you come upon another settlement. Like the last one, it kind of sneaks up on you. in the sense that you suddenly walk out into an open, cleared area with some signs of, like, you know, cut trees and etc. Mostly overgrown. The settlement itself is burned out. There are remnants of foundations, some stone, and etc. The entire area is burned out. There are skeletons around, so there you go with that. There are also some discarded weapons laying about, or just, you know, wherever. You see signs of fighting, signs of battle, obviously, with the burnt out and everything.
The weapons we find, are they Viking weapons or English weapons? Because we definitely recognize our own, like, makes, right?
Yeah, they are. You would say they're definitely not Viking weapons. So that means they're probably English weapons. They're also probably from, like, some farmers or regular. They're not from soldiers because they're old. They're like, they look ancient. They look like, you know, rusted and like and jagged and pocked.
They're not the. I was gonna say they're not the daggers that we saw in the church or whatnot.
No. They're not the daggers. No.
Okay.
They just look like, they barely look like they function as weapons. They're so old and like rusted and everything.
Is there enough of the bodies like that? Can we tell how they were killed? Were they like I mean, if I look into it, like, or are they just like burnt out and you can't really tell? It's
I mean,
just, like,
the bodies are skeletons.
Okay.
Like bleached skeletons, so they've probably been here
Oh.
for quite a while. Some of them are missing like heads, you know, so some of them are just like,
I
like
think this
a
guy
leg
died
or
from
whatever.
loss of head syndrome.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
Very
Terrible,
serious.
terrible
If
malady.
left, very serious if left untreated.
The Jarl didn't go in this direction, so, but essentially there's not much to see or to do with it, I guess. You can carry on for a little while if you like, but I would say it took you a while to get here. You can keep heading down the coast for a while. You could investigate here if you like, but again, there's not much left. It's mostly a few skeletons, a few like rusted old weapons, and a few like remains of buildings. Not even like any nice looking golden goblets or anything along those lines, you know.
Nothing like off besides it just looks like these guys got raided and that was the end of it. There wasn't like, we don't see anything that like kind of reminds us of that other village or anything like that.
Nothing that reminds you of the other village, no.
Okay. Okay.
In terms of anything off, the weapons maybe.
Okay, can I investigate the weapons and see if I notice anything with them?
I mean, yeah, they're rusted, they're old, they're not really usable weapons. Like, you know, we're not talking about a weapon that was like that's like 10 years old or something. We're talking a weapon that was left lying around for ages, doing nothing, like in the water or wherever.
And stuff like sickles and shit like that. Still
No,
not like regular. Okay,
like regular swords and yeah.
Okay.
And Sven is fucking saying shit. Sven's just sticking around and sticking with everybody and just like, I don't know what to believe at this point. Tell me where to go.
Yeah. I'd say Aki probably sidles up to you when everyone else is like looking around and you're pretty much by yourself. And he says, Sven, I didn't really agree with Leaf over there to begin with, but this is starting to feel stranger and stranger. I'm not really one to remember dreams, but I remember waking up feeling disquieted this morning.
Yeah. So You're not the only one. I woke up too. I had some terrors. And not only were they just nightmares, there were also nightmares related to what we saw at the church. In one of the books we found, I saw an image of a barren forest and a stag figure on a hill. And it said something about being a servant to something. I had a dream about that last night, and it asked me the question, am I the hunter or the hunted? Aki, I am so tired. I haven't slept well since we got here. At a certain point, I didn't know if it was my sleep deprivation that caused these potential hallucinations or if it's something else. The more that people talk about that Leaf is right and he experienced things and you experienced things, the more I say, yeah, you're probably right. There is something going on here. I don't know what it is. I don't like it, but I feel it too. I guess all that to say, do we have a choice? Can we do anything about it? You know, we can tell each other and talk to each other and we can all agree, but if the Jarl's mind is made up, we have a job to do. They're not our boats. We're just here now. So it seems like the only way to go is forward.
Do you remember when we were in the north? Not the north here, the north back home.
Yeah.
And we felt like there was something coming, following us. It was in the winter. And there was that, it turns out that was that bear who hadn't gone down to sleep. And
yeah, but it was following us for like a few days, I think.
Yes.
Or we thought it was, and then we saw it the final day.
And we thought it was something was probably hunting us until we decided to turn around and to hunt it. Maybe that is what you're feeling. Maybe something is following us.
And the anticipation, or I'm waiting for a moment to turn around and flip the hunt.
Maybe.
Well, I'll be honest, if it took care of these feelings and these issues and this panic that's slowly setting into everyone here, I would hunt it immediately. In my dream, I lunged at it. I didn't kill it. I used this dagger and is the dagger still with me? Pull out the dagger and he goes, I used this. It did nothing to him. This was from the church.
That's not a very good dagger.
No, it's not. But
also, it was a dream.
True, but dreams are usually symbolic of something.
Why don't we head back? I don't think there is anything worth finding out here anyway. And we can talk to the Jarl and we can head back home.
Okay.
If they want to keep searching out here, they can.
We'll do only what we're told that we need to do. We're not doing anything extra. There is a moment to gain favor from a Jarl. Now is not one of them. We need to make it back. So do only what we have to and agree to nothing more. And you tell everybody else that too.
I will do. Question for essentially once Sven and his group say that they're going to head back and that they don't think anything else is out here. I would say probably more Harold than Leaf, but both of you being more senior members of the raid, like they do generally kind of look to you as to what you're going to do next. The general plan was to stay out a little longer and look around, but I would say both of you get the vibes of if this place is burnt out, then other places either don't exist or are also burned out. Or could also be burned out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that if it's all burned out, then there's no reason to get here, and we don't know how far the next place is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a, well, this place sucks.
Yeah.
Let's head back.
Okay.
Yep. And leaves the same thing. I mean, obviously, this place got hit a long time ago, which means if anything else, someone else was raiding and probably has found it and it's gone on to other towns or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, and no one's come back to repopulate this place. It still looks like shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So Leaf is all about going back to the village that we were at.
Yeah. I'd say as you start to head back, probably about halfway, rough estimate, halfway on your way back, you probably hear before you see, because he's not very, etc. But Eskil like lumbers out of the woods. He originally went to the east, but he like raises his, the fucking giant axe thing he has. He says, "Hey,
Hey, find anything good?"
No, I was following your tracks. We went a little ways to the east, and it's just swamp and bog out there. Is not even worth. It is mucky and wet and deep. It is not worth searching out there. It is very.
You said you headed east. Are you sure you did not find the ocean, brother?
I meant west.
Oh. Never eat seaweed. Yeah.
Yes.
Eskil is not the smart one.
Sheepy's not the smart one. Sheepy forgot.
No, it works for the character. It
Yeah,
really works for the character.
I didn't know which one it was. I was like, I'm not gonna push this on
You
Sheepy.
didn't find the water, brother. Amazing.
But yes, out to the west there is just swamp and bog. It is it is not easy to traverse. Oh, sorry. It is not easy to walk on. Traverse is too complicated a word for him.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Ooh, traverse. Been back in fancy words.
It's not easy to do the foot thing.
So I thought
Move foot.
I thought I would see if I could pick up your trail and join you, but it looks like you're returning anyway.
Yes, it's we found the village, but it's deserted, and it has been for a long time.
Maybe someone else raided it.
If they did, it was a long time ago. But it's all skeletons, and no one has come back to claim the land or anything like that. So it's a waste of time over there.
Okay.
We did a quick look around, but there's nothing of value.
Well, it sounds like you're going to get your wish leaf. There's not much out here.
Let's leave.
And I would say you keep going. Eskil kind of joins in, like walks casually, chatting with Harold and Leaf a little bit. Probably pokes a little bit of fun at Leaf as well, just because.
Just because.
They're like, you sheep fuckers are all so rambunctious today. Oh.
And I would say as you start, like you start noticing a few landmarks, etc. A big stone here or whatever, a particularly like thick tree. You start realizing you're probably getting closer back towards the village anyway, like following the coast. You run into the Jarl Gudbrand and the
Is it Gudbrand or Godbrand?
Gudbrand.
Gudbrand. Okay, I got confused because for some reason I thought like I'm sure it was Godbrand last time.
I may have said Godbrand accidentally. I would.
Well, let's not point fingers.
Yes. It was probably your ears. And as you kind of like, you don't precisely cross paths, but you hear another set of people moving. You're like, well, it can only be one set of people, and you go investigate. They go investigate your noise, and you're like, ah, hey.
What the?
And the Jarl says, Harald, what did you find to the south? Anything of worth investigating?
Investigating maybe, but nothing of value. We found an old village, but it was raided and deserted, and has been for quite some time. It was all dead folk, and no one has come back for the land or claimed the houses or come back for materials. So we did a quick look around, but there was nothing of value.
We found some remains of metals, gold in the mines, but there's nothing else up north. It is hills and mountains and endless forest. So I heard from the east as well, the ones who went out that way, they said it is just swamp and bog. So
Yes, the ocean. Yes.
we have decided.
He did it.
You said
He
east.
said east again.
To the west, god damn it.
Even Goodbrand doesn't know which one is which. This is awful. This is our leader. He can't even tell left from right.
I can tell left from right is easy. It's east and west is very confusing. I like the fact that as an Englishman, I keep thinking east, whereas all the Norsemen are like west. You know, it's like
How is it not just west for Wales? How is that not super easy to remember?
no one cares about Wales, man.
That's fair.
And you're lucky Peachy's not here.
I was
Yeah.
gonna Peachy.
Please don't watch the VODs.
I love you, brother, but you know it's true.
It's not wrong.
But so yes, as you kind of group together and you start walking towards the coast, towards the east, towards the coast.
Yes,
and
that's correct.
I would say, as you're getting closer, as the sun is starting to go down, you. Who would it be? You know what? Let's have a roll for it. Why not? It's so difficult because I don't have the exact things I'd like for this, but I'm going to say... We will go with listen, although it will incorporate other senses. So I would say, again, probably the adventurers would have slightly higher, but I wouldn't say it's It's
Double success.
Okay.
Looks like I already have a value for that.
Oh, okay. We must have.
Yeah, we've done listen
already.
before, which is why.
Okay.
But it is only 40. Weird.
That's
Whatever.
that's reasonably high.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Fuck you. I have been
2
nothing
degrees
but
of
dog shit
failure.
rolls. Oh my god.
Question
Whoa.
for Harold.
Mm-hmm.
Out of yourself and your brother, who is the eagle ear and who is the skunk's nose?
I
Who
think I have. I
who
think
his
I have the
veterans?
nose and he has the ears.
In that
Because I'm the wolf and he's the
makes sense.
bear.
In that case, you start to smell the acrid smell of smoke. At around about the same time, your brother says, Harold, do you hear that?
And then I tune my ears. I disregard the smoke and focus on my hearing instead. Do I hear anything?
A crackle. Distant, but fire.
Fire. Are we heading towards the boats now?
Sounds like a couple boats on fire, huh?
Yeah. It does sound like a couple of boats on fire.
No.
I look at Eskil, and we both, at the same instant, break into a run towards the fire noise.
No.
And you hear probably Eskil shout, I hear a fire, as they both start running, and the rest of the Vikings like pick up the pace.
Oh no.
God damn it. Who did we set to guard the boats? Was it Jeff? Did we leave Jeff with the boats?
Fucking
that guy,
Jeff. God
that
damn it.
guy
That
is not
sucks.
reliable. I told you not to make him a janitor. How are we trusting this asshole with the boats?
He absolutely deserves a pay cut. Like, fuck this guy. Fuck Jeff. Hashtag fuck
damn.
Jeff.
Fuck Jeff. Fucking Jeff.
So as you break out of the tree line onto the like just the edge of the forest before the shore, you are presented with, yes, indeed, two massively blazing boats, and
God fucking damn it!
as all of you stop in wonder of what exactly it is you're seeing, you hear the Jarl right next to you and your brother Harald go, "What in the name of Odin?" What you see is the dismembered bodies of most of the ship guards strewn around the sand, with one figure, blood all over, tattoos, large and like roaring at the sky as for the boats like blazing and burning, he is silhouetted in front, along with the a body like impaled on a large like wooden spike above the boats, with these like long kind of like stringy rope coming out and like draped around in the air.
Does he look like he's been crucified?
No, it looks like he has been killed and had his entrails pulled out and draped over other bits.
So he's a one-man
that-
Christmas party.
Isn't that the fucking? There's a name for that.
No, that's
it's not the Blood Eagle.
It's not the
That's
Blood
Oh,
Eagle.
okay. Right.
Blood Eagle is when you open the ribcage from the back and pull the
yeah,
lungs
pull it
out.
over the top.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, it's not even pull
so
over the top.
casually
You
just
just
said
open
like,
the
oh
back.
yeah.
Imagine
Blood
a cabinet door on your back.
Yeah.
Just-
And you know what? Just for the fun of it, could I have a spot hidden from everyone, please?
Hey! Oh my God!
Oh my
Rod!
god!
Oh, Goober, can Goober just not roll anymore?
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
fuck is
I'll-
wrong with me?
I'll just assume a crit fail every time we need to roll
Yeah.
for goobs.
Yeah, right.
That's two
Holy
fumbles
fuck. That's
in
two
one
fumbles.
fucking session, dude.
I rolled a
Good
1 and a
God.
2 today.
Holy shit!
So, Sven, you are too distracted by processing that the boats are on fire, and the screaming person, one of the screaming Vikings, who appears to have murdered everyone here, and set the boats on fire.
Fucking Jeff.
Wait, there is the one that's the silhouette of the one that's like in front of the fire looks like it's a Viking.
It is one of the people left to guard the boat.
Oh shit! Okay, fuck. Okay.
And so much you are distracted by those things so much that you do not notice the body of Eskil propped up on the spike.
Wait, he just ran with us.
However, Harald and Leaf, you do. And as you are staring up at it, being like, "That's Eskil," you
Who's
feel
the guy next to me.
you feel a hand on your shoulder again, and a voice that says, "It is time, my lord." And then the presence, the hand disappears off your shoulder. anyone who's looking will see Eskil grab the Jarl by the neck and slam him up against the tree. And as he's like kicking and struggling, you hear this low kind of like, and the Jarl like pulls out his sword, like almost by instinct, and just starts like stabbing Eskil in the torso, like over and over again. With Eskil or with
I'd like to help the Jarl attack my not brother.
Okay. Please roll me.
I'm gonna try to like push him away from the Jarl so the Jarl is not pushed up against the tree. So I'm going for like a more of a brawl scenario.
Please roll me your occult.
Ew.
Oh shit.
Nope.
Mhm.
You feel the mist descend upon you, the rage, the anger, possibly because of the like Eskil is there, but he's also here, but he's not Eskil, and you swing back with your axe and come in and just bury the axe in the lower part of Eskil's back into the spine.
Yeah.
And you pull it out and you do it again, and the Jarl is screaming and stabbing.
I'd like to go for his arms that are holding the Jarl up.
Okay. I would say as you draw back to chop off, like go for the arms, the Jarl kind of like goes a bit weaker and kind of stab. And like it like kind of loses consciousness. Essentially, the sword falls. As you bring your axe down on the arms like sever, and at that point, Eskil kind of like drops to his knees as the Jarl drops to the ground and like flops over unconscious. Eskil kind of like drops to his knees, and like his head spins around to you, and you are presented with that same vision you had in the church for Eskil, of the horns, the antlers, and the kind of like really big, muscly, like demon
shit.
visage.
Has he been that way since the fucking church? Holy shit.
Do you ever remember him going with you to the church?
Yeah, because he threw the stuff up to him, didn't he?
No,
Well,
that
but
was
we
already in the church. He never came with us.
Do you remember he walked into the church?
Like I
Well,
remember him whistling for his
Yeah,
brother.
when you whistled for your brother, he walked in. That's when he walked into the church.
Yeah, at the very beginning. Yes. Bro, what the fuck?
Then the next thing that Harald does is the arms come off,
Yeah,
and he fell down to his knees. You said, right?
yeah, and like looking up at you.
Yeah.
Very similar visage to the dream.
Yeah.
When he was kneeling for you.
Axes down, swing around. Axes come from bottom left straight into his face.
Yeah, and as the axe comes in, you see that kind of like, because he looks like the stag, like muscle beast. You see the red glow of his eyes, the eye sockets, like slowly wink out as your axe hits.
Yeah.
And I will say for Leaf and probably Sven, who have had like a bit more of a shock. As you are seeing this visage of the burning ships, Eskil draped up with his entrails all out, and the maddened Viking warrior screaming into the sky, you see behind them the inky blackness start to drift up towards the shore. And we will end there for today.
You son of a bitch.
No.
Hey, I really really was about to go grab the y'all by the fucking throat and be like, "You motherfucker, you wouldn't listen." That will happen next week, though. Jesus,
Dude.
So-
damn it, CB.
I thought I was going to give it away when Eskil in the dream put his hand on your shoulder like he did in the forest before the night.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I wasn't sure if that would give it away on, like, I thought, like, is that a bit too, you know...
See, that's even better now because the players didn't get it, but if
Yeah.
anybody's like watching and like you, oh god, dude, that makes the fucking like the bomb drop of surprise even better. Oh my god, dude.
Surprise!
And I was so just like, I genuinely was just like, wait, what do you mean? Oh, he didn't come in there. What the fuck? We fucking missed something. Shit.
Well, and,
Oh,
yeah.
now Harold is going to be a very angry large man.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Now he's going to become Harold Half-Wolf once again, and you're gonna see the ferocity that it was him 15 years ago when he did this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he
Oh,
was
he's gonna get his skull
legitimately,
thrown, that's for sure.
yeah, but he wasn't Wolfcoat. He was Harold Half-Wolf, and this fucking coming back now.
So...
This some bullshit will not stand.
That's some bullshit. You're gonna die.
Fun fact, I was actually reasonably sure until like the end of last episode, basically, that all of the dreams you guys had would be completely flipped around to different people.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought Harald would have the green moon dream. I thought that Sven would have the red moon dream, and I did think that Leaf would have the blue moon dream.
Yeah.
What were these? What were the dreams? Who got what determined by? Was it roleplay or was it like a
Mostly roleplay. It wasn't the random roll, like that had nothing to do with
Okay.
it. The occult rolls were just how susceptible to the like the influence you guys were.
Mhm.
And I was so worried that you'd cotton on when you had the vision of because like you remember when you saw the cellar as like meat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a
Harold.
little flash of that.
Harold.
Hmm?
Yeah.
You remember when you saw the cellar as like meat? You had the flash.
You're talking to me. I thought you were talking to.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were talking to.
No.
Goober. I'm
Sorry.
like, why is he asking me? Yes, I remember.
Yeah. That vision you saw, it was because you rolled a crit success on spot hidden. That's why you saw Eskil in his real form.
I see.
But obviously because
you do a really good job with this rolling to where like it depending on what we roll, like it doesn't fully say the deal. Like I have the dagger, you had me roll, I failed, and you're like, yeah, you had the dagger.
yeah.
Like that doesn't tell me, like that was actually a really interesting choice because it doesn't tell me if this is actually an important dagger or not.
Yeah.
You just like you didn't tell me anything about it, even by failing the roll. You know, you could still give information away. But that was a cool choice to where it was this middle ground of like, I actually still don't know. I have no idea.
I can tell you it 100% changed what happened in that dream, or what would happen.
I just gotta say, and people have been saying in chat, I have been enjoying the rolling in this one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how we have done it. This has been fun. It's been fun.
I like to change it up here and there, you know.
Yeah.
They're like, there's something beautiful about a 40k scene where you don't roll at all and you just go balls to the wall action.
Yeah.
And you just go like
True.
full cinematic narrative, like kicking ass. But it's also a lot of fun to roll as well. I try to do whatever makes the most sense, and in this show, it has made more sense to roll a bit more. But yes, essentially, the spot hidden allowed you to get a momentary glance of reality, which was obviously that Eskil was not Eskil and was in fact one of these weird creatures.
Yeah. I assumed it was not a case of I can see clearly. It was I fucked up something because This does not make any sense.
Yeah, which is what I tried to make it seem like, because I'm like, God, I'm giving him way too many clues as to what's going on, but he keeps rolling well. But yeah, obviously the different colored moons means different things, and each, like technically speaking, each of your characters could have had a red moon dream or a blue moon dream. It's just,
cool.
It's just been the way your characters have progressed means that you've had different colored moon dreams.
Interesting.
And obviously, Harold has been probably the most resistant to the visions and dreams. So
Yeah.
Dude, Harold is just a fucking, like, a concrete block. Like
He was, but
Yeah.
now his brother's gone. Oh, it's going to be a. Yeah.
He's about as reactionary as fucking lead. Like, he is just whatever. Time to murder. Time to not murder. I
Yeah.
want to go home.
But now he's lost his brother in a particularly pretty shitty way.
yeah,
He is remembering what made him a leader on raids, and what characteristic made him respected among the other Vikings, and what made people go, you know what? I think Harald should lead a group next time. He seems to know what he's on about. Oh, why do you say that? Well, because he's fucking mental.
Hey, you know, that murderous giant over there seems like
Yeah.
they get what's going on. Or at least they're strong enough to make me consider that they know what's right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So seeing as we only have the one super chat this week, I will run through that quickly, which is Damned Man. Thank you very much, Damned Man. Good news, I finished the dice. Blessing, good luck. So I guess we know where that blessing went. Sorry, Goobs. I guess you got hit.
Not to
by
me.
The...
That's for damn sure.
Well, it's a blessing in inverted commas, so I think it probably did go to you because I'm not sure it was actually a blessing.
I rolled a 1 and a 2. I mean,
Yeah.
Dude, I got annihilated.
Yeah.
I got annihilated.
Two
I rolled a
fumbles and
100 and a 98. Like, did I? I think I.
Hey, Gilbert, could you do me a
succeeded
favor?
once.
Don't do
Yeah.
that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try not to.
I would
try
say,
not to.
especially from now on, you're going to not want to roll quite so badly.
Yeah.
I could gather that would probably be a good thing. Yeah.
So let's hit the outros, then we can head off. Today has been a very, very fun episode, and as you can probably guess, next time is going to be interesting. So I'll just throw out very quickly. Wandering In, Patreon, Twitter, Discord, go check them all out. Big things coming, but I talked about it in the intro. Let's talk about everyone else. I feel like we should start with the blessed one today, Goobers, and also Sven. How you doing, bud?
I've sure as fuck been better. Yeah, I've been doing good. I just got back from the St. Jude Play Live Summit, which was an incredible time as always. It was my fourth
So many
year.
of my friends were there. I was so jealous.
dude.
yeah, there were a lot, man.
Amazing time,
I saw the plane ride back was a little bit dodgy.
dude. Oh my god. Yeah, my pilot was just like, he threaded the needle. There's literally a radar, thing of him like threading in the needle between two red spots on the radar. And he goes right in between where it was green. I watched the storm on both sides of the plane, and then we looped around behind it because it was a thin little kind of blade of storms. And he got impatient and just said, fuck it, and sent full sent. And we landed. The airport was in the storm. About 5 minutes away from it was not in the storm. So the last like 4 minutes or so was just like fucking, it was white knuckling like crazy. But we made it. We're fine.
Just to throw out this like quick story here, I once went to Greece, to one of the islands in Greece, and the airport was on the edge of the island. So I woke up, like one of my mate woke me up and said, "Mate, we're landing." I looked out the window and we're going down towards the sea. Like,
Right.
there is no land where we're headed, and I pooped myself. And then
Absolutely.
we landed on the land runway, and it was fine. But yeah, not
I think
fun.
Boston's got an airport like that too, where if you're in the plane, you can't see the runway, and they're just like, "It's fine, trust me, bro." You're like, "Okay,
that is not what I want to hear right now."
Yeah, right. Pilot gets on. Thank you for flying Delta. Just trust me, bro.
But yeah, sorry, I interrupted you doing your outro, so please do finish.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Yeah. So I am currently doing my my Souls event, my Souls run for the year. If you guys like Souls playthroughs, hop on by my channel. It's Goobers515 there. There's a whole big thing. But all I can say is it's Lies of P, it's spoiler free, and it's just an absolute fucking shit posting meme fest. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, give me a follow there. And yeah, Goobers515 everywhere you can find me.
Oh yeah. You want a hot potato or?
Rod, the fuck are you doing?
Well, I published a book, so you can go find that. I put that in chat because whatever, it's there.
Good.
I'm finishing up Psychonauts 2 on my stream over at Rod_Johnson on Twitch, and then I'm gonna be playing Jedi Fallen's, whatever, the second Jedi game that came out last year. I'm gonna be playing that for May the 4th this weekend. So, yeah, and Murder Moose, my podcast. So go check that out and go Herald.
Hi, I'm LZT. I'm going to talk slowly so no one can bleed. No. Goose
doesn't have a heart out today, so fuck it.
Great show. I had fun. Check out Patreon and wanderingin.net, the website.
Yes.
And you can find me everywhere at Lima Zulu Tango. At the moment, we're doing Manor Lords because that came out. So
on the game.
I don't. I wish I did, but I don't have it plugged in via an IV. But I wish I did. It's fantastic. It's the spiritual successor that Banished deserved. So yeah, it's good. And other than that, wrapping up the semester for school in the next month, and then it's full time to the end of the year probably. So hey, that's fun.
Party time.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week. Bye.
Hey. I don't want to do my little bit.
You already did yours.
No, but I have a thing I want to say.
Oh, okay. So back to me and.
So, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you turn up for the next episode where the hunters become the hunted. See you next week. Bye.
Was that really worth it? Was that really worth it?
Yes.